like Kirill. He's very good. He's entertaining as hell, but he's not in the same category, man. It just isn't. So, like you look 319 games for him and Draisaitl's 368. So you're talking a difference of almost 50 games. Like it's an average of 10 games a year that Draisaitl plays more. So that it's a little odd to me. Now that doesn't mean he won't resign. He could easily resign, but that's a number where I'm like, it can't be about the money then, can it? If you're getting offered that much, now maybe he doesn't want a long-term deal. Maybe he says, "Hey, I'm just going to go for 4 at 16." And all right, I get it. It's not as appealing for Minnesota, but I understand short-term deals and why players will do it. I've been pumping that for a long time. So if he's turning down because of the term, then okay, that makes sense. So we'll touch on that. Derek Hitchner will join us. Of course, we got the ATB Classic going on. He plays on the PGA Tour America. He will join us. JC Sheret, defensive coordinator of the Elks. Look at the Elks defense from the first 4 weeks until now. Significant improvement in A, points against. That's number one. B, I don't believe they're not playing nearly as passive defensively. You don't see the secondary guys off the ball nearly as much as they were early in the year. Now, it helps when your D-line gets the pressure that it did last game. But we've seen a clear improvement. So I want to talk to JC, now he's called plays before, but not at the CFL level, right? You're a DC now, it's pro football. And it's just a little bit different. And obviously I think we've kind of seen the growth of him as a defensive coordinator and his play calling as the season goes along. So we'll talk to him about that. We got Tater's 2-minute warning. Jeff Patterson will join us, talk some Vancouver Canucks as a big season coming up for the Canucks. Can they get back in the playoffs? Obviously, can Demko stay healthy? I'm just going to say, I think way too many people are trying to make something out of nothing. What's Jack Hughes supposed to say? He tells the truth, and then people get upset about it. I love what Quinn said. He goes, well, what's he supposed to say? Of course we'd like to play together. We're brothers. Who wouldn't? Think about it for a second. You and your brother, if you have a brother, and you could play pro hockey, pro football, I don't care, pick any sport on the same team. Of course you'd want to do it. Now, there's been lots of brothers in the history of the NHL that don't get to do it for a variety of reasons, right? Contracts, timing, multiple factors. But for Jack Hughes to say, yeah, I'd love to play with Quinn. Like, why is that a story? Of course you would. Yeah, I know Quinn Hughes has 2 years left in his contracts. 2 years, man. There's lots that can happen. And, Luke Hughes is in New Jersey, and everybody assumes, well, they'll just get Quinn Hughes. Don't think it's that easy. Right? Timing, contracts, everything else that goes into it. It would be phenomenal for the Devils to land Quinn Hughes. Make no mistake about it. But do I think it's realistic now? Like, we're talking 2 years out. And while it's nice to say we want to play together, there's a lot of other factors that go at play with it. So we'll talk to him about that. We got Spec coming up. Also, we'll take your thoughts. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. I dove in a little bit today because I know there was lots made of Connor McDavid's comments last week. Right? Hey, you know what? I'm just going to take my time. And so that's fine. I don't want to rehash that every day. But there is something that's, I think, an intriguing Connor McDavid story. Is his actual on-ice play and his comment. Because if you look at Connor McDavid, he's obviously in his decade in the NHL, no one's been better. He's got 1,082 points. It's 100 points more than everybody since he entered the league, including Leon Draisaitl, who's pretty damn good. McDavid has 200 more points than every player in the league except Draisaitl, who he has 135 more points than. Nathan McKinnon, who he has 100 and what am I doing the math? 186 more than McKinnon. Is that right? No, that's not right. 1,082 to 914. No, that's terrible math, Gregor. He has 168 more than McKinnon and 171 more than Nikita Kucherov. Everybody else is 200 points or more less than him. Crazy. Like, and we go like, there's only like 10 guys that are within 300 points. Like, it's been absolute domination by McDavid in the last decade. But the last 2 seasons have seen a drastic reduction in goals for McDavid. Now, I'm saying for McDavid because he set the bar pretty high when he scored 64 goals in 2023. Now, that might be his career high. But the last 2 seasons, McDavid has seen a significant drop in goals. He went from 64 to 32 to 26. Why? Well, he had an answer. Assertive. I got to be more assertive. Part of my talent is the ability to change my mind, take away from shooting the puck, taking it to the net, taking it to the hole, whatever it is. I look back on scoring 60 goals, and there was a lot more shooting. I was a little bit more assertive, aggressive around the net, and that's something I can get back to. Now, that's what he says. He's right, but let's dig into the numbers a little bit because I think you might be surprised. So McDavid, 64 goals, 153 points in 82 games in 2023. He had 352 shots, and he had another 88 shots blocked and another 89 shots missed the net, which included 12 goalposts. If you hit a goalpost, it classifies as a missed shot, but they actually put it under the crossbar / goalpost category. So he had many of those. So keep in mind those numbers: 88 block shots, 89 shots that missed the net. Then in 2024, he had 32 goals, 132 points. He had 263 shots on goal. So he went from 352 to 263. He had 98 shots blocked and 91 missed the net. So even though he played fewer games, he had more shots blocked, even though he had fewer shot attempts, and he had more shots missed the net, albeit only 2 from 89 to 91. And those extra 2 are actually both 2 more. He had 16 post crossbar. Right, so he had a total of 529 shot attempts, then down to 452. And then last season, McDavid, 26 goals, 100 points in 67 games. He had 196 shots on goal. So from 196, 263, 352. I think we see a trend. He had 88 shots blocked, 86 shots missed the net. That really didn't change. His shot block totals each year were actually slightly higher per game the last 2 seasons because he went from 88 in 82 games to 91 in 76 games to 88 in 67 games. So if you look at it, he averaged 4.29 shots on goal and 6.45 shot attempts per game in 2023. In 24, he was down to 3.46 shots on goal and 5.94 shot attempts. This is obviously per game. And then last year, 2.92 shots on goal per game and 5.52 shot attempts. His shots on goal last year, the lowest in his career outside of his rookie season in both total numbers and shots per game. Like, think about that. In the year that he played 56 games, he had more shots on goal. So McDavid shooting the puck more, not a surprise. And here's the other thing that I find interesting is when you look ahead to this season. Connor McDavid talked about, because we asked, hey, how was this summer different from last summer? And he said, I never really got out of shape this year. Last summer, I took a lot of time off, more than I normally would. Not a lot, but still more by his standards than he normally would. He went to the approach this year that he didn't want to get out of shape per se. Now, out of shape by him is a lot different than out of shape by most of us, right? He's not gaining 50 pounds quickly in a summer like some of us can do if we try really hard. Have a few too many beers, have a few too many chips and pizza. Next thing you know, what the hell's going on, right? It happens. And if you look at it, in 2023, McDavid started like a house on fire. 11 goals, 11 assists, 22 points in the first 10 games. No surprise, the orders were 7-3. 2024, McDavid had 10 points through the first 10 games, which for him is pretty slow. Only 2 goals, first 10 games. The Oilers, not good that year. They started out 2-8. They were brutal. Then 2025, McDavid, 3 goals, 10 points in the first 10 games. So think about it. In 2023, he had more goals in the first 10 games than he's had points in the first 10 games in each of the last 2 seasons. And the Oilers, remember, they started out 0-3 and managed to go 4-5-1. So after that, they're 4-2-1. But they've started slow. They even started slow 2-3 in their first 5 games of 2023 before reeling off 5 straight wins. So coming out of the gate hasn't been great for them. This year, 7 of their first 10 games are against teams who didn't make the playoffs last year. However, 7 of the first 10 are also on the road. But it's not like their road games are against the Floridas and Dallas of the world. It's against the Rangers, Detroit, Vancouver. Like, no offense to those teams, but they're not in the same category. So when I look at Connor McDavid, and he says he wants to be more assertive, feels like he never got out of game shape. If you're going to play Alberta.ca, I'm picking Connor McDavid to have a good start this year. And if Connor McDavid has a good start, the Oilers' odds of having a good start will increase significantly. But it's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it that he had 10 points in the first 10 games. Like, think about it. He had 10 points in his first 10 games in 2024, and then he reeled off 122 points in his next 66 games. Pretty big difference. So when McDavid gets rolling, he can really roll, just like he did all of 2023. And he's talked about the team needs a better start, and I think he's going to put the onus on himself to say, I'm having a better start, and guys are going to follow. So that's a good sign. But look for McDavid. He's got to shoot more. Going from 2.92 shots a game is too low for him. Now, I don't think he's going to get to his career high that he was at in 2023, because that was a little bit of an outlier, to be honest. If you just look at it from a career standpoint at 4.29, if he comes in around 3.5 to 3.9 shots per game, that's good. That would be slightly above his average. I think it'd be solid. So those are the expectations I have for McDavid. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, Yaremchuk will join us on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
It said, I need somebody to get up before dawn, milk cows, work all day in the fields, milk cows again, eat supper, go to town, and stay all night at a meeting at the school board. So God made a farmer.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. We are so thankful God made a farmer. For the month of September, it is our goal to feed 500 families. With every vehicle sold, we will feed a family of 4. So please help us reach our goal. Visit us online at northgategm.com.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need, Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
At Fountain Tire, you can save $50 off tire storage with the purchase of 4 select tires now until September 30th at participating locations. Okay. Or you could squeeze them into your backseat, possibly causing upholstery damage, drive them home, struggle, sweating buckets trying to get them out of your vehicle, resulting in you feeling guilty for not going to the gym more often, or at all. But at the end of the day, it's your choice. Totally up to you.
Definitely $50 off the tire storage.
You got it. Book your appointment today at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Farm, ranch, acreage, or lake lot. They're here to help at Bashaw Concrete Products. Family owned and operated for 60 years. They continue to provide the best products and service, period. Call now for your free quote on the highest quality ready mix and gravel, a new septic tank, or an outhouse pad and tank, plus precast cattle water pads, garage sumps, and more. Call 780-372-3854 for prompt delivery. Bashaw Concrete Products, 780-372-3854. BashawConcrete.com.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Northwest Crane, available for all your lifting and equipment needs, specializing in selling and servicing cranes. Get lifting at northwestcrane.com.
Your show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a fantastic hump day. Wednesday, get you over the hump. And hey, you got some Jays game. Then tomorrow you got Thursday night football. We're going to have to talk a little fantasy football. Did you like your waiver wire? How about a guy in our league? I'm in that guillotine league, Cons, I was telling you about. And we have $250 fab dollars. He spent 64.5% of his fab dollars on Jamar Chase. He put in a bid. Now, obviously, you don't know what everybody bids. You see what he won. He bid $161 out of $250 for Jamar Chase, who obviously is a really good player. And I can see the argument. Like, I put in a bid. I just didn't put it in that high, right? And so I'm kind of curious to see. Some people say in guillotine it's a little bit different because, you know, if you want to spend money in a fab league where, you know, the only free agents are guys who are backups, right, in case of an injury, then I can see why if all of a sudden it's week one and you want to pay big for someone like your boy in the Chargers, then, you know, Quentin Johnson, not a lot of people had him.
Yeah.
I could see why maybe say, hey, this guy could be a good receiver. I'm still not sold he's their number one receiver, right? I think it's McConkey, but still, he could be a big play target, potentially. Okay, you bid lots. In a guillotine league, the strategy they say is, well, you're going to get good players every week available because whoever gets knocked out, their guys go back into free agency. So we'll see if it pans out or not. I put in a bid. I just didn't put in that much. I put in my bid was about 35% of my fab dollars. So still high, but no. I ended up getting New England's guy for like, I think 17 or 19 fab dollars.
Okay.
So booty. So,
okay, Sean, yeah.
I was looking at his numbers, man, like not just this year, but if you look at the last 5-6 games of last year, he's actually really good. So, see if it continues.
Yeah, he was highly touted in college too.
Yeah.
Good run. Yeah. It's a fun league. And like, if you can just skate by, like not finishing top, but hovering around.
Well, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Who cares? And you never know who's going to pop up. So I'm very intrigued. I think I want to get into one of those next.
Yeah. See, I was kind of annoyed. I was like, I actually had the most points in the league. I'm like, do I get anything for this? And they're like, no. What the hell's the point of getting the most points then? Absolutely nothing. Just don't have the fewest. That's all it is. Our next guy, I wonder how many guillotine leagues he's in. Probably in like 97 fantasy leagues. As we go in the room, brought to you by Action Electrical, where, guess what? They are the most diversified electrical contractor in the province, of course, with 4 departments and projects, service, testing, and solar. Now, what does testing mean? Well, that's preventative maintenance for your electrical distribution with infrared, ultrasonic, and arc flash studies. So check it out, actionelectrical.net, as we welcome to the show Tyler Yaremchuk. Ty, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm not in any guillotine leagues, and I'm very jealous of it. I wanted to this year, and then the season just kind of snuck up on me, and I was like, why didn't I do one? They sound like so much fun.
Yeah, well, it's totally different strategy, and I don't really know if my strategy is good or not because it's the first year in. Like, obviously, you know, they're like, just draft a team that you think is good enough to not be the worst. And then, obviously, you need some luck. But, like, the guy in our league was the second overall pick. He had Jamar Chase out. But Jamar Chase, he had a bad week, right? He had like 4 points. So that's what's kind of good about it. There's a little bit of strategy, but like anything, if you can be the best team for 7 weeks, you have one bad week and you're last, you're done. So just don't suck, as I guess the strategy until late in the year.
Yeah, I kind of like the guy though spending all his FOB on Jamar Chase because like I feel like the strategy for me would be very aggressive early, like stack up your team early, get these guys who are on bounce backs and whatnot. Like I don't mind that approach.
Yeah, well, the thing is, because I've talked to a few guys who've done it, and they're not in my league, but they're in other ones, and they're like, you just want to hang around, but save your fab dollars because there's always going to be new guys coming on every week, and then you could get them technically for less because there's a limited pool of guys who have money. So your fab dollars late in the year are technically worth more, right? So it depends on the strategy. I'm like, yeah, but Jamar Chase, unless this guy loses, he ain't coming back.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, but the top 5 guys make money. So that's where you kind of want to get into. It's not like it's a huge one, but it's more about bragging rights. I just did I didn't want to be last, right? Like you don't want to be the first guy out. Like what type of loser, I don't want to say his name, Mo, hi Mo, gets knocked out first week of a guillotine league. That's the ultimate loser.
That'd be heartbreaking.
Yeah. So I talked about Connor McDavid, no contract talk, because let's be honest, we don't need to bang our head against that. But he had some other things that he talked about in his presser, and I've kind of been waiting for it, did some digging on. And his goal reduction has been significant from 64 to 32 to 26. And really, it's not hard to see. He went from 4.4 shots per game down to 2.92. Like, it's a significant drop. And even though his missed shots and his block shots basically have remained the same, it's just his shots on goal. He's not shooting as much. And he talked about it. He wants to be more assertive. He wants a better start. When you look at McDavid, like, I don't think he's going to get back to 4.3 shots per game. That was kind of an outlier, really. But 3.6 to 3.9. I think if he does that, he's easily a 40 to 45 goal scorer again.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I've been looking on some of the sports books, and his line is 36.5. And I just think, again, if he's coming into this year with the mindset of, I like scoring, I'm going to shoot more, because it really is just like a mindset thing for Connor McDavid. We saw the one year when he put his mind to scoring 60, he went and scored 60. So I would be very interested in betting on him to score 50 goals this season, just because, again, the proof is in what we've seen in the past with Connor. And even when you look at his per 60 numbers and you factor in, or you take out the power play, like at 5-on-5, the numbers have dropped actually each of the last 2 years pretty hard. And this ties back into, it's an article I wrote, I think last week, of like, what's the Oilers' path to being like a truly dominant regular season team? And obviously everyone's going to point to goaltending, because that's a big conversation. And yeah, if your goaltending's not 900 or better, you're probably not going to be one of the top 3 to 5 teams in the regular season. But having Connor McDavid shoot back up into that 40 goal range, having him be healthy for all 82 games, having him be in the 130 point range, like, all of those things will go a long ways in them potentially winning their division, competing for the top spot in the West.
And speaking of that, Vegas has better odds at playalberta.ca to win the cup, slightly better, but also to win the Pacific. They're plus 2.55. The Oilers are plus 2.7. What do you or no, not plus 2.7, but what do you make of that? Do you think Vegas should be the favorite before the season in the Pacific?
I mean, if we're going on, like, I don't agree with them being higher to win the cup. I think, again, we can look back at the last few years as kind of the proof here. Like, is Edmonton a great regular season team? No. So until they prove that they are, well, yeah, it would make sense that the betting markets and the public to that point is going to probably lean more towards continuing to bet on Vegas to win the division. But when it comes to winning the cup, like, what has Vegas shown you? And I know they were in a cup final a number of years ago and they won obviously against Florida, but like, over the last 2 years, Edmonton got the best of them. Vegas bowed out early the year before that. I see no reason why, if both teams went into the playoffs, let's say it's Vegas as the 1 seed in the Pacific, Edmonton is the 2. Who knows what the rosters look like, but as they sit right now, why would you have more confidence in Vegas getting it done than Edmonton? Like, Stuart Skinner outbattled the Aiden Hill in that playoff series last year. Edmonton exposed a slow blue line, even going to the roster, like swapping Pietrangelo for Marner. I know Pietrangelo was no longer peak Pietrangelo last year. That's part of the reason why Edmonton exposed that blue line at points. But Marner for Pietrangelo, that doesn't make me any more scared of the Golden Knights.
No, not at all. That the line for McDavid at is 35.5 for goals this year. That seems low for me. I would take over there for sure.
And I mean, the tough part with taking over-unders, like on the season-long stuff, and listen, you're talking to someone who is already locked in and McDavid over 35.5 goals bet, but like, the injuries scare you. But even with that number for McDavid, like, could he not score? I could see him scoring 36 goals in 67 games. Like, even if he were to have to miss a little bit of time at some point, and knock on wood that doesn't happen, but if he had to miss some time again, as long as he has that shooting mindset, the idea of him scoring half a goal a game this season is not far-fetched.
Looking at Stu Skinner, who started 50 games last year, had 26 wins. They've got Stuart Skinner at 27.5 over under.
That's high, But I mean, they're going into the season with the same tandem. We saw last year that there were points Calvin Pickard took over the net for a little bit, and Skinner still managed to get to 50 starts. The Oilers had their slumps, all of that. This also ties a little bit into for the people who are fantasy hockey. I did a preview with Brock Sagan at Daily Faceoff, and Stuart Skinner's like average draft position has him in like the bottom 20% of goalies in the NHL. That's insane. Like, he's still an NHL caliber goalie on a really, really good team. The idea that people are overlooking him because of the playoff struggles at some points, there were also playoff successes, but people seem to forget that. Like, I feel like he's getting overlooked a little bit. Again, betting markets, 27.5 for wins is a pretty high number, but he's one of the few goalies in the Western Conference who you look at and go, he's a lock to play 50 games next year. Like, even if they get someone new at the deadline, it's still going to be Skinner starting probably close to 50 games because that guy wouldn't come in till the end of the year, and you'd have to, again, still give Skinner some starts down the stretch. So I like the buying low aspect of Skinner, whether it's betting markets or whether it's fantasy or whether it's just as an Oilers fan. Like, again, people get frustrated with the playoff stuff. I get it. He had a poor regular season last year. I get it. But this is a guy who is 26 years old, who's still only 1 year removed from a season where he was 905, 2 years removed where he had a 914 as a rookie. There's still a good goalie here, and I will continue to stand by that.
Yeah, well, no, it's I'm not going to disagree with it. He had 36 wins 2 years ago. That's why 27.5 is like, well, you know what? I could see it. Like, I think Stu Skinner is going to actually have a pretty solid regular season. I won't be surprised at all, actually. I'm not going to, I don't think he's going to be in the Vezina conversation. I'm not going to go crazy, but I think Stuart Skinner will probably, have a decent season, coming in around 908, 910 save percentage, which in today's NHL would be fine considering there's fewer shots on goal calculated. So the save percentage, I think last year the save percentage in the league was 904 or 905 on average, I think it was. So I could see him being slightly above that. The rookie camp today, officially, they had some testing and they'll do some team bonding things. They have a dinner and then they'll be on the ice tomorrow. You look at it, the orders right now, there's 13 guys who are at the rookie tournament that are signed to NHL contracts. They got a few other guys who are signed to AHL only contracts. And then they've got some young guys, obviously, who, they don't need to be signed right away because they just got drafted either this year or last year. But Howard and Savoy are the two obvious ones. But outside of them, who are the two that you're kind of intrigued by? Not that they're going to help the orders this season, but maybe down the road.
I mean, listen, someone who could still factor into this season, Quinn Hudson's a little intriguing, although I really don't think he has a ton of upside. Josh Szymanski's the guy that still stands out to me, just because when you sit and look at the roster and go like, oh my God, 6'5", and like had some decent production numbers overseas. He's still a bit of an unknown. Like, I know you had a really good piece on David Tomasek and how he's the great unknown when it comes to the Oilers roster, but in terms of prospects, what Josh Szymanski could end up being just because of that size is really, really interesting to me. And I like William Nickel too. Those numbers in the OHL are really, really good. And listen, I'm not someone like those prospect analysts, Stephen Ellis and all them, who watch hundreds of games a week. Like, that's just not what I do. But when you just look at sort of the boxcar numbers of a guy like William Nickel, there is something to like players who are just natural scorers. And maybe that's what he is. He's just a naturally good player with the puck. And I'm interested to see how that can translate at a, call it, higher skill level. These are all prospects who are, have some amount of pedigree to them. So William Nickel and Josh Szymanski are the two that I think stand out to me.
One other news story came out today is that the CHL has confirmed they're not going to issue passes to NCAA coaches or scouts. They're allowed in the building. They'll just have to buy their own ticket to get in. Scouts personnel can still talk to GMs and such about players for sure. This is kind of a business decision I see by the CHL. I see some saying, oh, this is going to hurt the players. And I'm like, maybe in a small way, but ultimately, they're going to look at stats. They're going to have video. You can watch all the film of all these players anyway. What do you make? Is this petty by the CHL, or is this a little bit of them just trying to protect their own product? Because now essentially, it's a rival for players.
It feels petty because of what you said. Like, they can still buy their own ticket and get in. It's not like security is going to usher them out if they find out that he works for the University of Maine or whatever. So it feels a little petty just being like, all right, you don't get to be in the press box or anything. And yeah, you got to pay $19 to go watch the game in Moose Jaw or whatever WHL tickets are these days. It feels petty. I don't know if it hurts the kids, though. Like, the teams are still going to be able to get their eyes on them. The teams are still able to talk to GMs and players. And what I kind of heard was a bit of a tipping point was there was some frustration from WHL teams, and I'm presuming other CHL teams, that players and the programs down south weren't communicating enough. So maybe this is something where the CHL is a little petty. They're putting their foot down in hopes that they can just get the NCAA programs and the players to communicate better. Like, I heard of one team where they just kind of went to camp one day and it was like, where is so-and-so? And it's like, oh no, he left. Like, he committed. He's down south on a visit right now. And the team was like, never talked to us. His agent or his representatives never talked to us. Like, maybe the CHL just wants to cut down on that and have some sort of an agreement, but it does on the surface feel petty.
Yeah, for sure. It's an odd one, but at the same time, it's a business and they're trying to protect it. I know there was talk about, because starting next season, the NHL, they're going to allow one 19-year-old player in the American League. But I'm not a big fan of it, and here's why. Because I think there are probably 3 or 4 19-year-olds who could do it and be fine and have success. There'll be lots that get put there and don't have success. So currently in the CHL, you can have a 15-year-old who can play about 25 games, right? You can call them up and down. Why wouldn't you put in a clause that states 19-year-old players can play in the American League? However, they can go up and down. So if you want to put him in there for a month and then, oh, guy's struggling, now we're going to send him back to junior or whatever. Now, the junior teams know this up front, and that they know they might not have the guy all year long. They might have him at periodic times, right? But you have to make the commitment either by, after the trade deadline, which is fair. But I think it's at least some middle ground here, because my concern is you're going to see NHL teams are like, oh yeah, we know better. We're going to develop the guys. And some players and their family are going to get blinded by like, well, the NHL team said it. We're the one step close to the NHL, but it's going to ruin their development because they don't gain confidence. They actually lose confidence. They're not going to play nearly as much, and it can be a problem. Do you think either side would ever agree to like that 25 game opportunity?
Well, first, I like what you said, where like every year there are probably 3 or 4 guys who should do it. Yes, which means every year, if there's 3 or 4 players who are getting a chance to maybe be more properly developed, like that's good. But that means there's probably going to be 24, 25 teams who, to your point, are abusing this thing. I'm putting a player there because we want our organization's plan to be in place. And then also the AHL, there's still coaches coaching for their jobs. There are still teams that want to win. Like, how many times are we going to hear stories in the next few years of a 19-year-old who, why is he playing 9 minutes on the third line in the American League? So I agree with you. There should be some sort of, maybe it's not even up and down agreement, but it's like, hey, by Jan 1, like you kind of need to decide and you need to have a bit of a plan, because again, there will be teams that abuse this. There will be players who are not getting their minutes. There are, again, like Zane Parekh, I think, is a really interesting example, the defenseman in Calgary. Like, he probably doesn't need to go back to the OHL for another year. If you want to go way back in Oilers times, like maybe there was that final year where, like, you know what, Jordan Eberle didn't actually need to go down to Regina. Maybe he did need to play with pros in the AHL. I just think there's going to be teams that abuse this really, really bad, and it's going to end up probably hurting more players than it helps. So they probably do. Again, if you want to talk about putting the players first as the CHL, you should be able to say, yeah, let's go up and down. It's going to be best for these kids if they don't need to get stuck somewhere in a month into the season. It's like, oh, we regret it, but we don't want to go back on our decision. They should be having some sort of an up and down agreement.
Yeah, no, 100%. Ty, have a good one. We will chat with you next Wednesday when it's the first day of main camp. We'll have some rookie games to discuss and a few other things. Oh, quickly, what do you make of the report? I think Frank Saravalli had it. That because we had Mike Russo on the show, and Russo was the one who said, hey, I'm hearing they're going to offer him 8 years at $128 million. And that's what he did, and he turned it down. So that's $16 million per season. What do you make of that for a winger who's good, but is he that much better? Or is it more the term, and he's like, hey, I'll take the money, but I just don't want an 8-year term?
That's what I'm leaning towards, is that he doesn't want the 8-year term, similar or same age as McDavid. They were the same draft class. So Kaprizov might be sitting there going, yeah, I'll sign up for 3 or 4 years. And then when I'm 32 years old, I want to try chase another ticket here. There's the possibility that he just really wants to test the market and he doesn't want to play in Minnesota. And, there are some interesting spots with a lot of cap space next summer. Panarin expires in New York. Like maybe Kaprizov has his eyes on a bigger market. I don't know. To turn down $128 million guaranteed is crazy. And to turn down being the highest paid player in the league is crazy. And I saw people saying, oh, well, maybe Kaprizov wants to wait to see what McDavid signs for, and then he'll go back to negotiating with the Wild. But what if that's a risk for Kaprizov? What if McDavid only signs for $16 million? Then can he really justify getting more than that, even if it's on a long-term deal? Feels foolish by Kaprizov from a negotiation perspective, unless his ultimate goal is to go test the market next year, which I guess we shouldn't totally write off.
It'll be fascinating to see what happens in Minnesota. I think obviously the 8-year terms are closing in on a thing of the past just because of the new CBA, but maybe even 7 and 6 for a lot of the top end guys when they look and say, hey man, the salary cap's going up so much. I signed too long. I could be costing myself money. So let's just go 4 years at a time, 3 years. I could see that for sure being a situation here. Ty, as always, man, appreciate it. Have yourself a wonderful Wednesday.
Yep. Thanks, Riggs.
There you go. It's Tyler Yaremchuk from Oilers Nation and OilersNation.com. Lots of text, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. We'll get to those and a big event coming up this weekend in Edmonton. Next, it's Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Looking for an all-season vehicle with room for the hockey gear, comfort for the daily commute, and rugged capability for your weekend adventures? That's the all-new 2025 Jeep Compass, and you'll find it during the biggest sale of the year this month at St. Albert Dodge. Now, what can I say? It's a Jeep, it's a 4x4, and it's loaded with standard features like an 8.4-inch touchscreen, keyless entry, and heated front seats, all starting from just $34,900. Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Center. TNA Wrestling makes its explosive debut at the Expo Center on Friday, September 26th and Saturday, September 27th for back-to-back nights. Buy your tickets online today. Learn more about what's happening at the Expo Center by visiting the calendar of events online at edmontonexpocenter.com today.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 heating and cooling company for people who want heating and cooling, because you'll save a bundle by bundling. Then you can use hot, cold, Come on, thermostat, do what you're told. Turn up the heat, turn up the cold, to the vents start pushing out tornadoes. Bundle my furnace with some AC. Gonna get a new from Legacy! Oh yeah, save a bundle when you bundle your new furnace and AC from Legacy today. Plus no payments and no interest for 1 year. That's how you build your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
$1 plus tax for a smooth, small premium roast coffee at McDonald's? That means rich, full-bodied flavor at a price that's just as satisfying. Must be McCafe. Enjoy a small McCafe premium roast coffee for just $1 plus tax at participating McDonald's in Canada. Prices exclude delivery.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also, a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$2:45. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. The Gregor Show is always brought to you by Play Alberta.ca, where you can get in the game and use the promo code Gregor50. Hey, you can use as many times as you want in a month. You just got to make a $50 deposit, and then you'll get $50 play. So it's 2 for 1. Basically, use the promo code Gregor50. Let's make it work for you. If you're a believer in the season-long ones, the Oilers 103.5 is the over-under on points. We're going to go into that as we get closer to the season. Some projections on, like what's realistic for numbers. Connor McDavid's goals at 35.5. That is obviously there's injuries as a potential issue here for sure for any player, but David doesn't miss a lot of games very often. So, and in his words, he's never gotten out of game shape this summer. That was something. Now, game shape obviously doesn't mean he's out of shape by any stretch, but just by his standards, he felt like he just didn't do that this year. So we'll see. 833-401-1440. Hey, Greg's the desperate wallet search ultimately deteriorates to looking under a single piece of paper from Manny. Oh, God. Is it so true? Anybody out there who's misplaced their wallet, and maybe, I guess, phone, although wallet I find is worse. Like, obviously, the phone, now you can track your phone. You have different things. Like, I guess, unless you put in one of those cards. And I don't know, I got one, and my wife bought me one thinking it would work. And I was like, no, this thing doesn't work. It's terrible. So, there's really no way to track your wallet. You can always track your phone now, as long as you have it turned on, which I would hope if you have it, then you should probably turn it on. But there is losing that wallet or misplacing it can be a tough one. Hey guys, 4 games back with only 18 to go. It's pretty much done after last night from Team Dean. Well, yes and no. Keep in mind the Yankees do have Toronto has a little bit tougher of a sked. And the Yankees, they got 2 series against Baltimore. So I would probably tend, the Jays are definitely in the driver's seat for sure, right? Like if the Jays go 11-7, then the Yankees got to go 15-3, right? So the Jays go 10-8, you got to go 14-4. So when you look at it that way, yeah, it's pretty good chance the Jays will likely finish first, but not a guarantee. You go 9-9, they got to go 13-5. That's doable. So we'll see. Let's get to our golf report now, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, home of the no payments, no interest. For 1 year on your AC unit or your furnace. Stay warm, stay cool all year long at legacyheating.ca as the ATB Classic is in town this weekend at Northern Bear. And, of course, Derek Hitchner is one of the players, of course, plays in the PGA Tour, PGA of Americas. Derek, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
Yeah, doing well. Thanks for having me.
Hey, I appreciate it. So, for a lot of people, everybody sees, I think, a lot of times like the PGA Tour, and it's like, oh yeah, golf is great and it's so fun and you get paid if you do well. And I think they all forget about in hockey, when you're in the minors, you get a guaranteed contract, and it kind of takes that stress. You just I got to focus on my game. I want to get better, but I know I'm getting a guaranteed salary. Golf's not that way. It is tough right out. The minute you turn pro, there's really no, I get guaranteed money. I know you have sponsors and stuff, but that's just kind of paying for cost of living. How do you deal with the stress factor of it being such a, you pay as you play kind of thing?
It's a great question. Yeah. I mean, that's undoubtedly one of the tougher components of playing at this level, just knowing that there's a high financial burden just to play, and then there's no guarantee of return. And so it's hard. I mean, I'm still working on improving in that regard, but I think, everyone's in the same boat, and as you touched on it, it's extremely helpful to have some sponsorship support, but really it's one of those things where it further incentivizes you to work as hard as you can and to play as well as you can. And I think there's just a recognition that everyone's in the same boat, and so you just have to go out there and perform, and your livelihood basically depends on it. And so it's a tricky part of the process, but it's a part that we all go through.
When you look at kind of where you're at, this is your second year on tour, and kind of where do you feel you've made the biggest improvements?
Yeah. I would say, with how the tour is structured, it almost necessitates winning just because there are only 10 people that move on to the Corn Ferry Tour.
Right.
And there are 150 extremely competitive players out here. And so basically you essentially have to win. And so just what that means is that once you get into contention, you have to just learn how to really capitalize on the moment, deal with the pressure that comes with it. And so I think that's something I've grown in a bit, is getting more comfortable when those really kind of massive opportunities arise. And I mean, I haven't quite gotten the job done, but I feel like I've gotten progressively a bit better as I've found myself in more of those high stakes circumstances. And so I think that just learning that over the course of a year or two has been invaluable, and hopefully I can keep going in that regard.
Well, and it's so much of that has to be more mental than anything. Is that fair?
Totally fair. And I totally agree. I mean, you have so much time between shots, even during shots, to where you have to really regulate your mental activity, or else you can probably just cripple yourself with just thoughts about how important it all is, or thoughts about how high pressure the situation is. And so there's so much you have to deal with internally. And so I think being able to really kind of maintain mental composure is pretty critical.
When you look at kind of where everybody, hey, good off the tee, obviously you're the short game, and then you got a putt. And I remember I had the pleasure once to golf with Chichi Rodriguez. And like for an average Joe, like I was watching, and he's draining putts. Now, we obviously weren't playing on PGA Tour greens at that point. And I got to talk to him. We got to play 9 holes together. It's like a highlight of my life. And I'm not a huge golf guy, but that was pretty fun. And it was funny because growing up, I see Chichi Rodriguez, and everybody remembers him because he always was doing the kind of the sword fighting on the green. And I was like, well, I just assumed he's a great putter. And he's like, yeah, I didn't win enough because I wasn't a good putter. And I'm kind of like, what? And he was like, no, the top guys were better than me. How do you improve putting? Is it more touch? Is it more read? Like, what is it to improve as a putter at the elite level?
Yeah. Great question. I mean, statistically, there's probably some low hanging fruit in the sense of reducing 3-putting. And then I would say, I mean, it always feels like rounds ultimately boil down to kind of the 5 to 8 foot range, in the sense of you have a lot of those throughout the round, whether it's birdie putts or par putts, and usually the guys who are contending are making those, and the guys who aren't are not. So for me, I think I've experimented a lot with putting, and I've certainly had my fair share of extremely disappointing putting performances, but I've tried to get really just hole focused with target selection. So what I mean by that is I've tried to work hard on picking targets that are actually within the hole, whether it's a little chip of paint or whether it's an imperfection on the edge of the cup, and just really trying to zero in on using that as a target, and then hitting putts accordingly. And I feel like just that's kind of narrowed my focus for putting, and has allowed me to perform a bit better in those kind of in that critical 5 to 8 foot range, and also with improving my speed, because speed putting is such an important facet of not 3-putting, and of also giving yourself 2-footers instead of 4-footers after lag putts. And so, I mean, there's so much to it, but I think a better target focus has helped me quite a bit.
Derek Hitchner joins us from the PGA Tour of America's golfers in town, of course, at the Jack Nicklaus course, Golden Bear, this weekend for the ATB Classic. Great golf if you want to watch it live and in person, just to see them hit the ball. It's amazing. Derek, I'm going to ask this one kind of on behalf of a lot of the people who love golf, but most of it's just like, in the grand scheme of things, we're not that great at it, but it's addicting and you want to keep playing. I think I find like your second shot, that's where you can score. You put yourself in a decent position to putt. It definitely is a key part of it. And a lot of people, it's like, man, if I can just hit the green, how did you get better at being more accurate with your irons?
Yeah. Another great question. I would say there's so much incredible technology these days that can really help refine one's mechanics, and at a beginner's level, I think I think utilizing that technology goes a long way, just because it'll immediately identify why those second shots might be inaccurate, and then you can use that technology to your benefit by making changes based on what it's indicating. And so whether it's club path that has too much variability, or whether it's the club face that's consistently too open, just by incorporating that information, I think that can really help give people better direction of what to focus on.
So get like a proper lesson with somebody who has the technology so they can do a proper swing analysis.
I think that's a great way to start. Great starting point for better understanding how you swing.
So have you played it now? You look at Northern Bear. Have you played it yet today?
Yeah, I played 9 holes earlier, just in a pro-am format that they have.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how important is it when you come to a new course? So you play the 9 holes. Are you playing it for fun, but really kind of, strategizing as you're playing today on what you're going to do and how you're going to attack the course starting on Thursday?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say definitely a lot of focus on the strategy component of it, just in terms of target selection and club selection and also just analyzing the green complexes and kind of assessing where pin locations might be, and then determining where maybe better spots to chip from are, or better spots to putt from are. And so I think there's a lot of attention given to just understanding what the course is going to give you and really trying to optimize course strategy based on what you see in those practice rounds.
And Derek, I have to believe, because I've seen you got a few top 5 finishes, you got a runner up. So obviously, you've been close, and you talked about that you got to win and you get close. And a lot of times the difference in a few days can be one stroke. Really, at the end of the day, it's one. Yeah. How have you learned to, if you miss a putt that you really think you like, or you make a bad shot, how have you learned to let it go?
Yeah. Another great question. I would say I've just kind of gradually learned, and probably more recently, that in order to execute consistently at a high level, I can't let the burden of previously frustrating or previously bad shots impact me, just because the frustration that creates has, I think it might even be more subconscious than anything, but it has a truly meaningful impact on your clarity of thought process, on the clarity of decision making. And so I think for me, it's just recognizing that in order to be in the best headspace to hit good shots, I had to move on as quickly as possible. Otherwise, I was compromising my ability to play well. And so it's probably taken more experience to learn that, and experience in the hard way, but it's better to learn it sooner rather than never.
And do you know who's going to caddy for you this week?
Yeah, actually, my fiance is gonna caddy for me, so that's the plan. She has some time off from work, so we'll be out there together.
Okay, because you have different caddies lots of times. I know sometimes the local they'll supply some people like that, so it's different. When it's how much of a golf aficionado is your fiance?
She's considered herself my mental coach actually at the moment. So
okay,
provides a lot of value in that way. But no, it's honestly more so just it's great to have her there just for the company and just for the enjoyment of the round, and I feel like that just puts me in a better headspace just from the get-go to play well.
And is there a certain ball you like to hit, or do you have a sponsor ball, or in the PGA Tour one, can you hit any ball you like?
Yeah, I do have a contract with Titleist, so I just play the Pro V1X. But I mean, the best balls from the major golf companies are also comparable and good and high quality, that you probably can't really go wrong with anything. But I grew up playing the Titleist Pro V1X, so I've just kind of stuck with that throughout the years. Okay. And what is your best golf trick that you can do on the course? Best golf trick. I'm actually probably known for having no golf tricks whatsoever. Really? Most people can juggle, can kind of bounce the ball off their club. I think that's called golf juggling, whatever. Yeah. In just extraordinary ways. But I mean, I cannot do any of that. So that's probably a disappointing answer. But could you hit a driver could you hit a driver like a wedge? Like, can you take your driver off the fairway and plump it 160 if you want it? That's funny enough. I'm actually working on hitting a driver off the deck, so off the fairway, but it's not very versatile right now. But it's a work in progress. Really? And so is the point just so then you can hit longer from the fairway? Is that the strategy behind this? Exactly. Yeah. So it has good use just on long par fives, where especially into the wind, where you might need a bit more club than a 3-wood, and the 3-wood might go higher in the air. So typically an off the tee or off the deck driver just stays pretty low and out of the wind, and we'll chase out on the fairway a bit longer too.
So is that where one of those mini drivers, that was what you'd use, or would it be a full driver?
So I use a full driver, but the mini drivers has certainly become a lot more prevalent, and kind of for that reason. I mean, it's versatile. You can use it off the tee, but it also gives you some more muscle in the fairway. So it has a lot of uses. I don't have one myself though.
Okay. And lastly, you get any distance, and we're having a fun wager where you're going to put it close to the green. You got to be at least one. What is your go-to club and distance that you are the most confident that you can hit, within a foot or two of the pin?
Well, that's probably my answer is probably week to week based, but right now I feel pretty good, kind of around the 100 mark. I feel like that's a comfortable sandwich for me, where I just can reliably, hopefully, hit it around that number. And so if I'm on a par 5, for example, and I really need to make birdie, that's one thing I'll consider if I can't go for it, is trying to put it to about that 100 number and try to make it work from there.
All right. Well, Derek, best of luck this weekend at the Bear. I hear the course is in fantastic shape, so it should be great, and hopefully there'll be some good crowds. Enjoy it. Best of luck.
Yeah, thanks so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
There's Derek Hitchner in town, of course, at the Northern Bear. The PGA Tours of America Tour is here for the ATB Classic. And I've seen these guys up close, man. It's unbelievable how they hit the ball. Like, well, a lot of even go play with like one of your buddies who's like a scratch golfer, and you're like, God, like just listen. Then you go to these guys, and it's just a different level, and it'd be fun to watch. And that is a grind, man. Like, it is such a grind, more mentally, as Derek said, than anything else when it comes to golf. Because hey, pay as you play, and that's hard, right? Like think about it. You can have a bad day at work, you're still getting paid. Right? There's very few jobs that, and I know some people say, hey, I'm a sales guy, I only get paid if I close. Yes, but you can close on 2 really good deals, and you have money coming in still, and maybe you have 2 or 3 days where you don't make a call, whatever, it's fine. But you play the whole weekend, nothing happens. You play the next weekend, nothing happens. And all of a sudden, you're just like, oh my, now I'm spending all this money to get here. It is a grind. No question about it. Let's get to the con man and a sports 1440 update brought to you by 01 Hockeyology. Training camp's here. You've had the summer, but you want to keep your game sharp all year long at 01. On ice includes skill development, shooting, and more. Check it out. And of course, even goalie. They've got specialized goalie sessions as well. Apply today, 01.ca.
This is a sports 1440 update.
San Jose Sharks have signed 2025 second overall pick Michael Misa to his 3-year entry-level contract. Misa, 18, had 62 goals and 134 points in 65 games last season with the OHL's Saginaw Spirit. In the majors today, the Jays looking to make it 2 straight over Houston. First pitch set for 5:07. Right now, you got the Angels leading the Twins 3-1. Giants at home trail the Diamondbacks 4-0. Red Sox have a 3-2 lead over the Athletics, and the Rangers up on the Brewers 5-3 in the bottom of the 8th. Later tonight, Mets in Philly, got the Yankees taking on the Tigers. Cubbies in Atlanta. Padres host the Reds, and the Mariners hosting the St. Louis Cardinals. 3-time All-Star first baseman Anthony Rizzo announced his retirement from the majors earlier today. Rizzo spent 14 seasons in the big leagues with the Padres, Cubs, and Yankees. The 4-time Gold Glover last played in 2024 with the Pinstripes, and 1 game in the WNBA this evening. Connecticut hosting the Dream, tip-off at 5 o'clock. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Edmonton Elks defensive coordinator J.C. Sheret, and hear another edition of Cam Tate's 2-Minute Warning. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
It's Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job, from home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs. We're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Mr. Rooter goes for a fall stroke.
Ah, the beauty of fall. These leaves are crunchier than that calcified shower head I replaced this morning. And the earthy yellow oranges and browns are as colorful as the wad of hair I pulled out of the shower drain.
Ugh, Mr. Rooter, can we talk about something else?
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you didn't like fall. You look about as sour as the sewer line ions.
You're listening to Jason Gregor.
For a plumber, you'll truly fall for
Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Alberta.
Actions speak louder
It
than
is
words.
tough,
Japa
right out-
Machinery Group puts your construction
.ca.
plan into action.
You
with XCMG construction machinery you need. Available for rental or sale. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
It's the Brick's famous tent sale. Save up to 60% off clearance items in the tent and store, with more amazing
Thank
deals
you.
arriving daily in every department. Like up to $1,800 off power reclining sectionals and up to $700 off big screen TVs. Buy more, save more when you buy 2 or more major appliances, up to $1,000 online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right when you spend $9.99 or more on
Sports
furniture.
14
Some
to the Jason
exclusions
Gregor
apply.
Show on
See
Sports
in
14.
store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade
Jason
I know
Gregor,
homeowners
Connor Halley,
love,
Sports
better,
14.
fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquessential
X.
reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Wow, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
CWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at ewell.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Experience a season of superior luxury, performance, and savings. The Fall Experience event is on now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. The all-new redesigned 2026 XC90 is here. Come drive one today. You won't be disappointed. Finance or lease a 2026 XC40 from 1.99%. And right now, you can save $7,500 on remaining 2025 XC60s. The Fall Experience event is on now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. Visit volvocarsedmonton.com.
It takes grit. It takes heart. It's the legendary Canadian Finals Rodeo, powered by ATV. From October 1st to 4th in Edmonton, the nation's best go head-to-head in a battle of pure willpower. Witness the raw strength and adrenaline at Rogers Place. Plus, soak up the Western lifestyle at the Canadian Country Expo, with free admission and shuttles running between the expo and the arena. This is more than a rodeo. It's a showdown. Get your tickets now at CFR.ca.
Stollery Children's Hospital Foundation Mighty Millions Lottery bonus prize deadline is midnight Friday. Go top shelf to score the Oilers in $75,000 bonus prize. Lower bowl Oilers season seats plus $75,000 cash. You're also in to win the Porsche Paris early bird and the $2.5 million grand prize. A luxury show home in Cameron Heights. Hurry! Bonus prize deadline is midnight Friday. Be mighty. Buy your tickets now at MightyMillionsLottery.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
Tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$3.10. Welcome back. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are having a lovely, lovely Wednesday. JC Sheret is going to join us this hour. As the Gregor Show is always presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where the OG of lotteries, the Lotto 649, 16 mil up for grabs tonight. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. Also, the Jays looking to win 2 straight. They are favored tonight against the Houston Astros. And we did a little math. Of course, the Jays, they are 3 games up on the Yankees, but they own the tiebreaker, so you can argue it's 4. And with only 18 games to play, as Team Dean said, it looks like the Jays go 10-8, and the Yankees got to go 14-4 to catch you. So it's odds are looking good for the Toronto Blue Jays, but anything can happen. Just remember 1987, Jays fans. Never take anything for granted. God, they lost, I think, their final 7 games of the year and missed the playoffs. Oh, that was, I remember a young teenager, just brutal. Absolutely brutal. So, hey guys, I used to play amateur pool in Vegas and went and watched a professional trick shooter at a little sideshow he's putting on. He said, and it's always resonated with me. Every sport, football, ping pong, hockey, snooker is played on an 8x8 square between your ears. From Antoine. Well, it's true. It's so much of anything is mental. Obviously you need some skill, no question. But what separates a lot of people from, if you're the elite, obviously you have skill, but you have a mental fortitude that allows you to showcase your skill more consistently, right? You found ways to be consistent. It's not that your skill is inconsistent. It's your actions become inconsistent, right? Your sleeping habits, your eating habits, just, your mental focus. It's hard to be on every day as a professional athlete. Well, at least I would assume it is. I don't know, not a professional athlete, but it doesn't matter. You can play junior hockey, you can play AA, whatever level you're playing of sport on your team. You could be a tier 4 player and everybody else is a tier 4 player, but there's still some guys and girls in tier 4 that are better than others. And they're just a little bit more consistent. Maybe they're a little faster, sure, but they find ways to show up. And hey, I've coached kids, and you see now it's obviously tough in young kids. And, it's hard to bring your game all the time. Heck, there's lots of kids that are great in major junior, but they don't know how to bring it every night. That's what you learn. And that's really what separates a lot of, like, outside the top 10, 15%. There are so many players that are in the American League or even in Europe that are probably just as skilled as many players in the NHL, but they're not as consistent. And consistency is one of the greatest skills to have. It's incredibly hard to master, but it is a great skill to have. No, like, Cons, you look at it in football, quarterbacks who can consistently hit the throws, receivers who can consistently catch the ball. They don't have as many drops, all that stuff. Right? Like it's there in every sport. Like, look at pitching. It's why relief pitchers might be the most volatile position year to year in pro sports.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say, like, with football, think of kickers too. Like,
yeah,
that's another one where it can just be so mental when you're doing your preparation, staying in the zone, being constantly ready to be called upon. But for sure, relief pitchers, and it goes up and down, and it can be so streaky. A guy can be cut from one team, picked up by another, kind of find their game again, and go on a bit of a run.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, Gregor, what about the Red Sox? Well, yeah, they're there, but they're behind the Yankees right now.
And losing.
And they're losing to the Athletics today?
Yeah, Athletics took a 4-3 lead last inning.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, there you go. Nice. But yeah, like, the Red Sox are there too, but they're not much closer. The odds aren't going to change between the two of them. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey guys, my thought is on McDavid. Great stats, by the way. That one comes from Dan. Is it just about being more selfish, or does he have to be more decisive? Great question. Listening to Connor, I think it's more decisive. Right? He says, hey, some of the best part of his games is your ability to change your mind on the fly. But I think at times he's changed it too much. And last year, I thought last year was maybe the most where I'd see him in a really good shooting position and he kept passing it up. Now I watched, it wasn't passing to guys in terrible spots, but I'm not sure they were in a better position than he was. In a lot of cases, they weren't. Now, obviously we saw some of the great plays. Most of you remember the Draisaitl play against Florida. It was unbelievable. But we're seeing where McDavid's in a little bit closer even. And what did Stephen Valquette call it? The Royal Road, right? Where it's, you take that back post in the net and you draw a line from it up to the top of the circles. If you can get a goalie moving across, like if you can go the puck from one side of that to the other, that increases your chances of scoring. And Steven had the number, and I can't remember what the percentage was. Now, and if you can cross it back again, well, because now you're just getting the goalie moving. It's just harder for goalies. So you want to do that as a shooter, but that doesn't mean all the time. And I think at times I saw McDavid, he was passing to guys in good positions. I'm not sure they were in great positions, better than he was. So I would say it's probably a combination of the two, but when he's more decisive, I don't even know if I'd call it selfish. If it's the right play, I don't know if I can say it's selfish. So, and Greg's, my thought is McDavid needs to get selfish. Player with his second and none talent should be a shoo-in for 50 goals a year. All right, wow, 50 years top. But I think it's fair to say Connor McDavid only having one 50-goal season thus far in his career is a little bit of a surprise. If there was one surprise, I would say in his career, that would be it. Now, there's not many guys who even have 5. Okay. I think it was there Gretzky, Bossy, Ovechkin, Lemieux, Lafleur, Esposito, Dion. I think there's like 10 or 11, and Draisaitl's close to be in the 12th who have done it ever. So that's 5. So, but I would think McDavid could get there. Now he is a passer for sure, but I think he has the ability to be a little bit more of a shooter. Hey guys, wasn't McDavid fighting through a core injury last year that might affect a shot from Gio? He never wanted to say it. I asked him off the record, on the record, and he didn't want to go into specifics. I do believe I had heard it from enough people around that I felt that there was something there, but I don't know if it was a core injury. I heard there was a little bit of a wrist issue, so combination of which one, could never get 100% confirmation, nor could anybody. And I know McDavid, he doesn't like using excuses. It's not an excuse. It's just the truth. It can happen. So, Gregor, I think each team can only put one 19-year-old down in the minor. E.g., well, right now they can't do any unless it's a European player, but they can't put any major junior players into to the AHL at 19. Now, next year, they will be able to. But even one per team is too many. There's not 32 19-year-olds that are ready for the American League. There just isn't. There's barely, I honestly, my idea of having like a 25 game where you can go up or down and play up to 25 games in the NHL and come back to the junior, I would love, and I would even extend that to 20-year-olds. Now, I know it'll be a little bit harder because you have a limited number of 20-year-olds, but you go back and look at 20-year-olds in the American League who are still eligible to play major junior and watch how many of them struggle. And I'm talking guys who are second-round picks, like good players, and they struggle and they never recover. And people are like, oh, gee, now maybe they never would have. Right? Maybe they never would have, because it's hard. Not every draft pick is going to play in the NHL. It's just not going to happen. So maybe they just never would have been good enough. Sure. But I've always argued there's way more players who get ruined by rushing. I've seen lots of 16-year-olds go to the Western Hockey League, not play their back. They're playing junior A by 18, and they've lost all their confidence, and they're never the same. Whereas had they not played at 16, and they're like, why would I send my son, if I was a dad, to play fourth line minutes as a 16-year-old in the WHL? What is the long-term tangible benefit? You think it's better than them playing AAA or even junior A? No chance. No chance. It's not better. You don't have to get punched in the mouth, lose all, and you're not even getting punched in the mouth today, but lose all your confidence, play 8 minutes a night, don't get any puck touches. And it's like, well, they got to toughen up. No, it's not about toughening up. Sport is about so much on the mental. We just talked about it between the ears. And you lose confidence as a player, it's really hard to get it back. Don't just snap your finger. God, you can snap your finger and lose your confidence, but man, it's work to get it back sometimes. So I always caution that every year to parents who have a 16-year-old. If they're not playing in their top 9 regularly, politely say, hey, you know what? That's okay. But we're going to take our son where he can play, and he can come back next year at 17. No problem. The organization gives you a real hard time. Boo-hoo. Then the organization does not have the best interest of your son in mind. They just don't. Now, there's some 16-year-olds that play top 9 minutes. No problem. Great. You're playing fourth line minutes? No, thank you. No, thank you. McGregor, doesn't the CHL have to sign off on the 9th year? Well, they have for next year already. It's coming in next season, but they're trying to get it in for this year. So I was told, I talked to an WHL general manager today, and last thing he had heard was it didn't look like it was going to come in this year, but they're looking at that. But the CHL is still trying to come up with other things, and see, because You don't want to lose that many players. You're losing players to NCAA. Now you're going to lose 19-year-olds to the NHL. It's not I'm still not a big believer that the NHL is not a teenager league. I really don't think the AHL is a teenager league. When we come back, we'll talk about the evolution. And when you can see improvement from the outside, it's obvious. But how is it from the inside? What's the difference when you're a rookie? It doesn't matter how much experience you have at other levels. When you're a rookie coach, rookie player at the pro level, it's a big learning curve. We'll talk to a rookie in his first year, new position, and we've seen significant improvements. Discuss it next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
While the players gear up for the new season, make sure you gear up your snack game with Will Hawk Beef Jerky.
Okay, this jumbo bag of beef jerky should last the preseason.
Whoa. Will Hawk has more than just beef jerky. There's smoked sausage and pepperoni products, too.
Well, how about we have jerky for Eastern opponents and pepperoni sticks when we face the Western teams?
Now that sounds like a Will Hockey game plan.
Will Hawk Beef Jerky, because you don't win games with salad. Only available in Leduc.
Ah, Hawaii. The warmth of a golden sunset as the waves roll in. The freshness of a waterfall. The lush scent of tropical flowers in the air.
You don't need to travel to enjoy all Hawaii has to offer. You just need to order pizza. Bring Hawaii home with the Aloha Trio, available for a limited time at Papa John's. Try our classic Hawaiian, super Hawaiian, or Hawaiian barbecue chicken for just $19.99 each. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
The Spruce Grove Saints home opener is Friday, September 19th, and you don't want to miss it. The Saints will be playing their first game in the brand new Thompson Family Arena as they host league champion Brooks Bandits at 7 p.m. With a completely new and exciting in-game experience, including a state-of-the-art Jumbotron, the Thompson Family Arena will be the place to be. Don't miss the Spruce Grove Saints home opener, September 19th. For tickets, visit tickets.sgsaints.ca.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at Cantork.com.
God said, I need somebody to get up before dawn, milk cows, work all day in the fields, milk cows again, eat supper, go to town, and stay all night at a meeting of the school board. So God made a farmer.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. We are so thankful God made a farmer. For the month of September, it is our goal to feed 500 families. With every vehicle sold, we will feed a family of 4. So please help us reach our goal. Visit us online at northgategm.com.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
$1 plus tax for a smooth, small premium roast coffee at McDonald's? That means rich, full-bodied flavor at a price that's just as satisfying. Must be McCafe. Enjoy a small McCafe premium roast coffee for just $1 plus tax at participating McDonald's in Canada. Prices exclude delivery.
Farm, ranch, acreage, or lake lot. They're here to help at Batshaw Concrete Products. Family owned and operated for 60 years. They continue to provide the best products and service, period. Call now for your free quote on the highest quality ready mix and gravel, a new septic tank, or an outhouse pad and tank. Plus precast cattle water pads, garage sumps, and more. Call 780-372-3854 for prompt delivery. Batshaw Concrete Products. 780-372-3854. BashawConcrete.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Get the Gregor special. Enjoy 20% off any regular price order when you use promo code Gregor at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.327. Welcome back. Jason Gregor. Connor Halley with you, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Many of you listening on the app, iHeartRadio, or Stingray Radio Player. Thank you very much for that. And watching on YouTube and X and Twitter for Sports 1440. We're there all the time now, as well as Orders Nation for this show. So awesome for watching. Thanks for subscribing to Sports 1440. Keep it up. Keeps growing every day. So that's fantastic. That's what we like. We want to see improvement from the start and continue to do it. So check it out in your spare time whenever. You can rewatch the shows. We got shorts coming up. We'll have lots more stuff. And a few more subscribers just opens up more opportunities to give you more things that you will like, including some special features we have starting in October that I think you're going to like up at YouTube kind of exclusively. So you'll want to subscribe there for sure for Sports 1440. Let's get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by the Spruce Grove Saints. They're in action tonight, a crosstown rivalry, taking on the Sherwood Park Crusaders down at the Silent Ice Arena, just off of the QE2. Spectacular facility, by the way. If you haven't gone there, you can sit right in the middle of the ice. It's unreal to watch it. They got the bar, great seating, so check it out. As they get down to the final preseason action in the BCHL. Crusaders and the Saints tonight at Silent Ice Center on the south side of Edmonton. We are joined by the defensive coordinator of the Green and Gold, JC Sheret, joins us. JC, welcome back to the show, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Well, JC, it's amazing how much things change. For your team, it got off to a slow start. Now you're 4-1. Everybody's rolling. The crowds are coming back. It's good. But I want to, now you've been a defensive coordinator before, obviously not in the CFL, and play calling. I remember the last time I talked to you about it, you're like, you know what? Part of it is just kind of learning to kind of counter the game of what the other guy is doing. And when I look at the defense, if I just look at yards given up, I look at points given up, there's been a drastic improvement. Where do you feel you've made the biggest strides in play calling here the last month or so?
I think probably the biggest strides, honestly, has just come from our players learning to play together, getting used to playing together, playing with speed, aggression. The faster they play, the easier the call sheet becomes. And truly, I think that's what's been happening. As a staff, we're growing together, getting better each week. But I think the majority of the credit has to go to the players for just constant improvement. So now when the calls are being called, they're getting executed, faster and at a higher level. And that's a credit to those guys.
Yeah, and that's valid, but you obviously you must get to know your players better and kind of know, like, hey, I can call this now because maybe because you had a pretty young team at the start of the season. It's still pretty young, but you know what I mean? Like there's more that they can absorb now than maybe early in the year. Is that fair?
Absolutely. Once you get your core concepts in, then you can disguise off of that. You can pressure off of that. And, what our guys are able to do, certainly from a disguise standpoint, I think has helped us a lot. But you're right. The more that we grow, understand each other, understand the system, now it's very easy to expand the playbook because, the day one calls are just a walk in the park, and you get a branch off from there.
JC, the secondary early on in the season, maybe playing a little bit off the ball now. It's been a lot, at least from my vantage point, and I could be wrong, but it seems, like guys are just coming up more. Or is that just because of you're calling different schemes now because you're deeper into the playbook?
I think it's a little bit of both, and them getting very comfortable, not only playing within the system, but playing with each other. Those guys are in constant, when you watch, they're in constant conversation and communication. with how they're going to play. They can get the same call and they can play it 4 different ways. That's their power. And that also, again, it's just the experience of playing next to somebody, because the real bullets don't come until game day. So every game is our huge learning and growth experience. You know, obviously we're learning in practice and getting better, but the speed of the game is where you really learn. And that's where, when I think you look at the secondary, who's now been together for a good chunk of change in these games, they're growing off each other and feeding off each other.
JC Sheret joins us. JC, as you get to know individual players, like I know you're in camp with them, but now you see them and, you know, you've had 12 games, which is a lot. And at the same time, it's not a lot, but you get this sense of maybe, you know, what makes certain guys tick. I want to talk a little bit about, you know, some guys in this, like Cordell Jackson. We had Noah Taylor on, and he says, you know, Jackson's kind of like the, you know, he's the verbal guy that gets everybody going. You know, we saw him, he's had some big hits this year. What's impressed you most about Cordell that maybe you didn't know before coming here?
If he wants to be, he'll be a coach at whatever level that he wants. That's where he is mentally. And that's what I didn't know. You know,
Okay.
You watch his play. Obviously, he's a smart player. He's fast. He's explosive. I didn't know his football IQ was as high as it was. And that doesn't grow on trees. And I'm not, you know, blowing that out of proportion. That guy will have a coaching job if he wants it, because that he can process at a very, very high level, and he sees the full 12. You know, a lot of people, myself included, when I played, you know, you kind of focus in your area and you focus on the front. He can understand all 3 levels, which is it's a huge asset for us, not only in the rooms, but on the field.
JC Sheret joins us. JC, first 11 games, your defensive lineman had 6 sacks. They had 4 between them on that game against Calgary. Relentless pressure. Vernon and they don't give up sacks very much in Calgary. And he was actually, after the first 2 series where he was 4 for 6, the rest of the game, he was 47% on completion, threw an interception. There wasn't many big plays given up, and there was constant pressure. What have you seen, or what did you see from your D-line specifically last game that you feel is repeatable?
You know, we always talk constantly that the secondary and the D-line are tied together. The better the secondary plays, the better the sacks are, the pressure, the QB hits, they all go up. And I think you look, you know, we look at analytics like everybody else, and our pressures are through the roof, but we weren't finishing. And then you look at the timing of just being in sync, where our DBs are locking people down, and now we're coming free, and now quarterbacks don't have time to react. That's a part of it. You know, I think when we got up with a lead, getting to turn it loose when you know Calgary has to pass the ball, that helps. And there's no question that Jordan Williams coming in with 1 practice and then getting in the game and playing the way he did, he helps us. He helped us instantly. And, you know, he impacted that game. You know, he gets no stats, but what he did opened up lanes for other people to make plays.
JC, looking ahead to Toronto, and just, you know, Noah Taylor talked about that excitement and the belief, and you were a player. And when you believe you're good, you know, it's a lot easier to be good, right? It just kind of goes hand in hand. And, you know, your defense there, we've seen just a consistent reduction in what you're giving up every game. And now you head to Toronto, and you feel the confidence of your team and just how important that is. Not saying that they lack confidence early, but it's hard to be confident when you're 1-6.
Belief, and especially at this level when the parity is so close, belief might be one of the most powerful things. I mean, momentum is truly real. And it's taken us the hard route to get here, but I think going through trials and tribulations, these hard times, and forming that together, it's made us strong. It's made us confident. And then just, I think our guys understand we are in the playoffs. You know, we're going to get everybody's best, and we have to be at our best because we put ourselves in a hole. But there's no doubt. I mean, the guys it's chemistry, man. It's fun to go to meetings. It's fun to walk into the meeting rooms because they're growing together as a group, not only on the field, but, you know, off the field. And that's one of the biggest joys of this game.
What does Toronto do offensively that you need to be aware of the most on Saturday afternoon?
throw for a lot of passing yards. They got I think their offense is as good as anybody when you look at them statistically. The points they're putting up, what they do in the red zone. I think they've done a really good job with Nick of coaching him up to take the checkdowns, where maybe he wasn't doing that early in the year, and he's playing probably at his highest level that I've seen him play at. So it doesn't seem to matter if they have injuries, if they're having new guys come in. That offense is hitting at a very high clip, and I mean they've given everybody problems. So we know we've got a challenge.
So when you have a team that is going to pass that much, because I was looking like, Nick Arbuckle's second on their team in rushing yards with 150. Like they don't have a ton of carries for the running backs. That doesn't mean they can't surprise you and suddenly run the ball, but historically they haven't ran the ball this year. So how do you balance that where you just, you can't just pin your ears back every time, but when a team is more, pass oriented, but you said they like to do the check downs. Can you maybe not blitz as much because of the check down? How do you play that cat and mouse game?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's something that you're thinking about constantly. I mean, for us, we will never change off of you have to stop the run, and we found that out very early in the season. A team could be, running for 18 yards a game, but as soon as they're able to get more than they expected, that's when really bad things can happen. So our number one concern is still stop the run, the same as it has been. And certainly since the bye, just the importance of taking that away from teams, because teams that like to throw, once they have that in their back pocket, the play action pass and the salary games and all this just opens up and they're comfortable. So that will be our number one thing. That will never change for us. And then once you get off of that, it's just tackling will be one of the deciding factors in this game. It really will. And that's practicing and just being aware we're still going to play our defense and call our calls. We just have to understand with teams what they're good at and how it affects each one of our calls.
JC, what has been for you the area you feel has been the biggest learning curve or / growth in year one as a DC?
It's a great question. I guess, it's just you had a feeling of it. You knew it as a player, but it really is truly just the constant who can get better consistently at the highest rate. It's going to get the best shot to climb. I know that's a cliche answer, but it's like, it is a long season, and you see teams get out of the gate hot and fall and vice versa. And then the teams that can steadily climb, that are going to be in it at the end. And I think that's been just a really good thing for us to be aware of, that if you stick to the work, and good things will start to happen. I guess that's it. I wish I could give you a cooler answer, but that's kind of all I got.
No, that's totally valid. Now, the other one I want to ask is you played there. Obviously, you won a Grey Cup. You've been there when the crowd's big. I was in the stands with my son for the game on Saturday, and now he's only 11. He's only really been going to games for 3 or 4 years, and he's like, Dad, that's the loudest he's ever heard it. You're on the sideline. Was it noticeably louder for the team, for the coaching, for the players, and how much of an impact does that make in the game?
Yeah, no, there's no question. You could hear it when Cody hit the corner ball, you could feel it there. And then when we got the second sack,
yes,
you could feel electricity just kind of runs through your body, and it runs through our players too. You can tell. It's one of my favorite clips of the season, just because you see the guys feeling the juice from the crowd. That is 100% a real thing. And to do it against Calgary in front of our crowd, who deserves to see it done to Calgary, it was awesome. There's no question. Loved every second of it.
I've noticed, hey, when you played, you're an emotional guy. You're right into it on the sidelines with your guys. Like some coaches aren't. Other coaches, like Mark Killam is. You guys seem to, you're naturally just your emotion runs. You get kind of caught up in it, and not that your emotions have gotten the best of you by any stretch of the imagination, but is that as close as you ever feel to get back on the field when you can you get in there after a big play with your defenders? Do you still feel a little bit of a player like in that brief moment?
Yeah, I think we just are who we are. We just try to be authentic. I know that when Leak ran out of bounds and I couldn't get out of the way and he stepped on my foot, I'd never want to be close to this field again. Those days are long, long gone. But no, I mean, it's one of the best parts of the game. We do what we love, and I think that comes through. There's a time to let the emotion run, and there's a time to cut the emotion out and know what the hash it is, what the D&D is, and make the right call. And that's the line. But it's one of the best parts of the game is just be yourself and enjoy the ride.
Well, JC, continued success. There's a lot more buzz in Edmonton around the football team. It's nice to see, and a win on Saturday will only ratchet it up. Best of luck in Toronto.
Awesome. Thanks for having me on.
That is JC Sheret, defensive coordinator of the Elks, and play fast. The play calls makes the play sheet look a lot better. So like any good coach, he's giving the players the credit, and they deserve the credit for sure. But I think we've seen a difference in what they're play calling. I think that they're a little bit more assertive. Now, maybe that just comes with the players understanding things more. Now you can play faster because you're reacting and you're not thinking. And I think a key to that game on Saturday, you look at it, Arbuckle's leading the league in passing yards. He's got 3,800 passing yards. Do the math. Like, that's close to like 5,700 on a full season. Right? Like, he's played really well. They don't run the ball very much, but they throw it a ton. So you gotta, the Elks are going to have to be, their secondary is going to have to be on. As he mentioned, your D-line and your secondary, while they're far apart, they're very much in unison. If you cover a little bit better, it gives the D-line more time to get to the quarterback. Conversely, if the D-line gets pressure, then you don't have to cover as much. So it can work both ways, different times on different plays. But I think that's going to be the key, is to limit the passing attack of the Argos. Like, if they beat you with the run, it'd be stunning, because that's just not what they do. So I don't know if they're suddenly going to change. They might try, but they just usually don't run the ball very well. Now, I know part of that number is because they've been playing catch up a bit. So that's for sure matters. But either way, that's, Coxie, that's their main thing. They like to throw the ball over the place. Come back. We got the 2-minute warning with Cam Tate and more. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Get your tickets, MLB, better odds for the NFL, and more at PlayAlberta.ca.
It all started in 2006.
The year Twitter was founded.
Google bought YouTube.
We played Wii Sports.
And the Rocks opened, changing Jasper Avenue forever.
Celebrate 19 years of OTR on September 19th.
Featuring Edmonton's own The Royal Foundry.
With party band
DJ Deadly Nedley and DJ Kenny K.
Edmonton's biggest party started in 2006 and is still rocking harder than ever.
See you September 19th.
And on the Rocks.
Jasper Ave and 118.
Hawaii. The warmth of a golden sunset as the waves roll in. The freshness of a waterfall. The lush scent of tropical flowers in the air. You don't need to travel to enjoy all Hawaii has to offer. You just need to order pizza. Bring Hawaii home with the Aloha Trio, available for a limited time at Papa John's. Try our classic Hawaiian, super Hawaiian, or Hawaiian barbecue chicken for just $19.99 each. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is sounding the call. Don't struggle through winter with a furnace you can't trust. For maintenance before winter strikes,
call Legacy. Call Legacy.
For furnace tune-ups and repairs to give peace of mind. Or to scrap your old furnace for a brand new high-efficiency one.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
And with no payments, no interest for 1 year on your new furnace, it's gotta be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
$1 plus tax for a smooth, small premium roast coffee at McDonald's? That means rich, full-bodied flavor at a price that's just as satisfying. Must be McCafe. Enjoy a small McCafe premium roast coffee for just $1 plus tax at participating McDonald's in Canada. Prices exclude delivery.
Every morning, you look in the mirror and see less of yourself. Hair loss can feel like losing a part of who you are.
But it doesn't have to be that way. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we understand the pain of hair loss. Our advanced hair restoration solutions won't just bring back your hair, they'll help you face the mirror with confidence.
Good morning, you sexy beast. Visit drvanceelliott.com today because it's time to be the man you remember.
Oof. It's happened again, and construction season is in full swing. Job delayed, money lost, and clients disappointed because your rigging failed and it wasn't inspected. Don't let this happen to you. Have your lifting slings, fittings, hoisting tools, and safety harnesses checked with Titan Supply. Titan Supply offers certified on-site and in-house rigging inspections and service so they can repair it, replace it, and recertify it. Titan Supply in Edmonton, Grand Prairie, Red Deer, and Calgary, and at titansupply.ca. Lift, dig, haul.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantork's products not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money, support Canada at cantork.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.347, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Kruger with you, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Of course, Sports 1440 YouTube. Check it out if you haven't been there. Hit that subscribe button, boys and girls. Yeah, you'll help us out, but also allow us to give you some more content. We're going to be doing some giveaways on there as well. So cost you nothing. It's very easy, simple. Just go hit the subscribe button when you go to YouTube for Sports 1440. Coming up, we got Tate here in a few moments. Jeff Patterson's going to join us. I see a lot of stories about Kirill Kaprisov and turning down the 8-year, $128 million deal. I think it's more. I know some people are like, what? But I think it's the term. I can see why guys don't want to commit to the term because he could do 4 years now and still get 16 mil. And then in 4 years, he could probably sign another deal. Not that old. Salary cap could be up to 17, 18. Or maybe he wants the flexibility to potentially see if he can go somewhere else. So there's, I think, and I've said this for years, and I know that fans aren't going to love it. And so I can understand that. But from purely a player standpoint, the top end guys, I've argued for a long time, should sign shorter deals. Look at the NBA. Right, the top end guys. Now, there's some movement. There hasn't been, you had a stretch where there was movement. They're all trying to chase their super teams, and that's calmed down. Hey, you notice that? Look who just won. Were they a super team? Yeah, because of drafting. The OKC Thunder. It was unbelievable. The draft picks they made. And it's fantastic. So we'll see. But I think, and look at the NHL. They lowered the maximum to 7 years. I think everybody in the industry knows that you're likely going to go to shorter terms. Like the NBA has max at 5, and lots of guys don't even use it. So I can see if you want to go, even coming out of entry level deal, it's 7-year deals, right? Guys will be a year younger. Some will leave, yes, but like look at this summer, for instance. Other than Mitch Marner, was there any real significant movement in the National Hockey League? This might have been the quietest offseason that I can think of as far as significant movement. Like look at Edmonton. All their top core guys return. Like they lost some older guys, Arvidsson, Perry, Skinner. Okay. Like Corey Perry's 40 years of age. I know he had an unbelievable season. Awesome for him. But, Vegas, hey, they got Marner, but they lost Pietrangelo. They lost their best defenseman, and they lost Nick Hague. The LA Kings, well, the Kings got older. I'm not sure they got better necessarily, but they definitely got older. I mean, no big name additions, right? Armia, Perry, CC, Dumoulin. That might be some solid guys to help their penalty kill, but not significant. Like Vancouver, they kept Brock Besser. Calgary did nothing. Seattle, no. Minnesota, no. Like, it's been a very limited offseason in the NHL. Now, maybe that'll change next year. But when you look at the potential free agent list today, which would include Connor McDavid, it could include Kirill Kaprisov, include Jack Eichel. I get all who it could include. Who will it include? To me is the better question. And I'm not sold that you're going to see a lot of the big guys leave. Cons, what about you? Do you think like I think a lot of players, they kind of like where they're at. The money's not necessarily going to be an issue for these teams, right? They're not going to, if guys want to leave, it's not going to be about money.
Yeah, because I think that, a competent management staff and front office has their plan 3-4 years down the road. What's going to happen? Who do we need to make space for? And you're prepared for it. That's like the Oilers being prepared for McDavid and Draisaitl. Other teams in that same situation. And, in 2 years, if this guy comes with a cap, maybe we can make a contract to someone, 10 plus million. Look at Vegas with Mitch Marner, all the moves that they do. You're talking about big names moved. Carey Price. Oh, wait, that doesn't really count anymore, does it? But
No,
yeah, I just think that I think all management staffs are so well prepared now for what they have to do to ensure they can keep their star players and keep them in the market, that it doesn't happen quite as often.
Yeah, so here are the potentials. McDavid, Kaprizov, Eichel, as I mentioned, Kyle Connor, Artemi Panarin, Marty Necas, Adrian Kempe, Alex Ovechkin, although I'm not sure he's going anywhere. Then there's like Alex Tuck, Rasmus Anderson, Nick Schmaltz, Philip Gustafson, right? Some decent. But if I'm just talking like those top guys, like I love Adrian Kempe. I think he's a hell of a player. So out of those 7, Kempe, Necas, Panarin, Connor, Eichel, Kaprizov, McDavid. How many do you think switch teams between now and July 4th next year? Any? McDavid? I don't think so. Kaprizov? I don't think so. Jack Eichel? I'd be surprised. Kyle Connor? He might be, maybe. Panarin? Only if some other guys come free for the Rangers. Otherwise, where are they going? Right? Marty Necas. Marty Necas might be the one because I just don't think Colorado wants to pay him what he's going to ask for. Right? And LA, Kopitar, by all counts, probably going to retire. They'll have money to pay Adrian Kempe. I don't think they want him going anywhere. He's a legit player. So I would say cons, maybe 1.
Yeah, if that. I was kind of like maybe Panarin. Like maybe he's lured away because he'll be, what, a little bit older at this point, mid-30s?
Yeah, but I don't know. The Russian players love in New York City just because of, the off ice. There's a little bit more Russian culture there. Mm-hmm. So I understand it. And, where's he going to go? Like at his age, he's had a good year, but I don't know. He maybe, I guess he could possibly go somewhere, but he's only going if one of the other top free agents who's better than him is coming in.
Yeah.
Right. That's the only reason I see him leaving. And I'd kind of be surprised by that. So we'll see. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Let's get to the 2-minute warning brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where they remind you don't always need a new furnace. Sometimes you just need maintenance. Take care of that furnace. Get a maintenance before winter. Can save you a lot of money and stress. LegacyHeating.ca. Cam Tate, longtime journalist in town. Of course, Cam, born with cerebral palsy, in a wheelchair. Has always wanted to be in radio, and luckily now has been with us for a few years. Do the wonders of technology. Cam's words come to life in the 2-minute warning.
I got the sore neck today and think I need to rearrange my command center to prevent Gregor further damage. See, I got the television on my right of mission control, a laptop, and 2 monitors when something really exciting grabs the side of my right eye. My neck is put on high alert. I turn it faster than Donald Trump broadcasts another false fact. So I hurt my neck last night, and I blame the Toronto Blue Jays all the way down Yonge Street. Going into the last night's tilt against the Houston Astros, the Jays had a record of, pay attention over there, Connor Halley, 4-5, Oh, yes, sure they were. 4-5, and with the cool winds of October, just a few gusts away with the famous P word. You know the P word, right? The P word, we never say it about the sporting entertainment bonanza following the regular season. The P word. We're not going to say it, but you know what I mean. P word. So if you're the Jays, you want to start playing your best baseball now, right fricking now. And having a 5-5 record after a 10-game segment could be pretty important. The Jays weren't exactly rocking and rolling last night. Hell, they didn't get their first hit of the game until the 6th inning, their first of 7 hits on the night. The Astros, who crossed the dish in top of 1, added another run in the 6th. Blue Jays were down 3-1 in the 6th. My neck was getting a healthy workout. As my friend Lauren would say, very good, but there's more. 2 more Jays runs. In the 9th, tie game, 3-3. And then in the 10th, the Jays won. The thing 4-3. And now we're introducing Tate's Take on the 2-minute warning and for the first Tate's Take. Throughout every schedule, there are games which can change an entire season. Maybe the Jays win last night might not fit that bill, but coming from behind and winning in the bottom of the 10th could go longer for the Toronto Blue Jays than a George Springer dinger. As for tonight for another Astros, Jays extravaganza, I'm already doing neck exercises. The 2-minute warning, now 5 days a week. Gregor, Halley, Tate, Sports, 1440.
Well, the Jays are the comeback kids. There's no question about it. They got the most comebacks in Major Leagues of Base, and that's a sign of a good team. They're never out of it, and they'll scratch and claw. They didn't come back and win with monster home runs, right? It's kind of small ball singles, infield. I don't even know, what does Heineman get credit for there? Is that like I guess it's an infield hit. I didn't even look at the score sheet on what they get there. You throw it home, and guys safe at home. So I don't know. Is that a fielder's choice? I'm not even sure what that was officially deemed or not. Maybe it's a hit, but either way, it wasn't flashy. Like, look at Vlad. He beat out infield ground. He got an infield single to get on. So the Jays definitely, they can every now and then beat with the long ball for sure. I think actually not every now and then. I think since like the middle of May, they're like 5th in home runs. Like, they didn't have any home runs for the first 30 or 40 games. So that's why overall they're not a huge, I still think they might be 11th or 12th, but they mean top 5. So they can punish you. Obviously, Varsho's been unreal. George Springer. Look at the amount of games those guys have played and look at their home run totals. Then if you wonder if they were playing all year, where they'd be at. So they definitely can hit home runs if needed, but they can grind you down at the plate. And if they can just get some consistent, doesn't have to be great, but just consistent pitching, they got a chance. No question about it. It's going to make it a lot of fun.
Fielder's choice, Gregor. Officially.
It was officially Fielder's choice. Yeah, that makes sense. So let's get to the Con Man. Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. You ready to swap your tires this fall? Don't want to just that pain. I'm going to store them. Where do I store? I got no room. You're getting frustrated. Well, get $50 off tire storage. New purchase set of tires in the month of September, and they'll store your tires at Fountain Tire. See select locations for details, fountaintire.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
San Jose Sharks have signed 2025 second overall pick Michael Misa to his 3-year entry-level contract. Just age 18, he's had 62 goals and 134 points in 65 games last season with the Saginaw Spirit of the OHL. Major League Baseball, Jays looking to make it 2 straight tonight as they host the Astros once again. First pitch, 5:07 right now. Angels Twins in the 7th, tied at 3 apiece. The Diamondbacks have a 5-0 lead over the Giants in the 8th, and in the 9th, Athletics up on the Red Sox 4-3. Earlier today with the Rangers getting past the Brewers by a score of 6-3. 3-time All-Star first baseman Anthony Rizzo announced his retirement from the majors earlier today after 14 seasons with the Padres, Cubs, and Yankees. The 4-time Gold Glover last played in 2024 with the Pinstripes. One game in the WNBA tonight as the Drum in Connecticut taking on the Sun. First tip, the Dream taking on the Sun. First tip off set for 5 o'clock. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show. We'll ask 5 questions and be joined by Jeff Patterson to talk some Vancouver Canucks. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Experience a season of superior luxury, performance, and savings. The Fall Experience event is on now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. The all-new redesigned 2026 XC90 is here. Come drive one today. You won't be disappointed. Finance or lease a 2026 XC40 from 1.99%. And right now, you can save $7,500 on remaining 2025 XC60s. The Fall Experience event is on now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. Visit VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
At Fountain Tire, get up to 25% off select tires, up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires, and $50 off $150 service until October 18th. Restrictions apply. Book today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
I'm a little hungry.
I've got Booster Balls from Booster Juice.
Booster what now?
Booster Balls. They're little protein bites packed with nutrients. Chewy, crunchy, yummy, and new flavors all the time. Like this little guy. The new mint chocolate Booster Ball, peppermint, cocoa, coconut, peanut butter, maple syrup, all rolled up into a delightful little bite-sized snack.
Why am I just hearing about this now?
I don't know.
Can I have one?
No.
Booster Juice. Canadian born. Blending since 1999.
Performance by Action Electrical today. Their projects team kicks things off, designing and building with unmatched skill.
Then the service team swoops in for those crucial repairs and maintenance. And don't forget the testing team, ensuring everything's safe and sound before the solar team scores with sustainable energy.
A complete team effort. Have Action Electrical bring home a win for you and your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
The ATB Classic is returning to Northern Bear Golf Club.
An international field of professionals will battle it out on their path towards the PGA Tour.
Advance tickets are $20 or upgrade your access to sit greenside in the Sports 1440 Birdie Bar. Presented by Sleeman.
Net proceeds go to Youth on Course to give kids age 6 to 18 access to play golf for just $5.
Come see the future stars of the PGA Tour.
The ATB Classic.
September 11th to 14th.
Get your tickets at atbclassic.com.
Get this, Metal Supermarkets now offers welding services for their customers. Simple welds, steel, stainless, and aluminum welding. TIG, MIG, and stick are all available. And I tell you, these welding helmets are really something. Like the jousters wore in the days of yore. Quick, fetch my lance.
Lance is on lunch break.
That's not what... Never mind. Metal Supermarkets, your local convenience stores for... and welding. Southside, West End, metalsupermarkets.com.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 heating and cooling company for people who want heating and cooling, because you'll save a bundle by bundling. Then you can use hot, cold, hot, cold. Come on, thermostat, do what you're told. Turn up the heat, turn up the cold, to the vent, start pushing out tornadoes. Funnel my furnace with some AC. Gonna get a new from Legacy! Oh, yeah. Save a bundle when you bundle your new furnace and AC from Legacy today. Plus no payments and no interest for 1 year. That's how you build your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. From weekend warriors to professional athletes, kids playing soccer to grandparents in the garden, rotator cuff tears and tendonitis to post-surgical knees and hips. We fix your body. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show. The best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
For 4 o'clock, September 10th. Geez, we're already third of the way through the month of September. It's flying by. You know why, though? Because if you're a sports fan, there is no shortage of things to watch. Right now, of course, they're in the top of the 9th inning. The A's and the Red Sox. A's leading 4-3. They punt. They threw out a runner at second base. Cons, how many outs now? Is it 2 outs? No, 1 out. 1 out. So they had no out for Boston. And they got the lead runner on, throwing it at second base. It actually went to review because, man, it was close, but he's out. So The Jays could, they'll gain a half a game for at least a few hours, and then maybe could gain another half if they are victorious tonight. And you just keep winning if you're, obviously not going to win all 18 games, but we've crunched the numbers. Jays go 10-8. Means the Yanks got to go 14-4 to catch them. Well, pass them. Because if they go 13-5, then they're tied, and the Jays have the tiebreaker. So there's a good issue. But it looks like the Red Sox might have tied it here, Cons. They have. And just like that, the game changes. Don't. That's what makes these stretch drive. Every game, every hit matters, man. It's awesome. So I love it. You got CFL big weekend coming up. Edmonton's, of course, on the road in Toronto. You've got the another week of the NFL, which we will talk about coming up tomorrow. So lots of CFL on Fridays and Saturdays now. I kind of love it. You know exactly when it's going to be. It's Football Thursday through until Sunday. It is a lovely, lovely time. You are listening to The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province of Alberta. So even if you lose, you win because it stays here. PlayAlberta.ca. Hey, Gregs, is Nick Anderson going to play this week for the Elks? Well, he was limited at practice today, Jonathan. So I don't know. Man, their defense played pretty well. Guys coming off injury, are you going to rush him back in there? Now, he's limited. It's Wednesday. I think they'll probably make a decision for sure by tomorrow. But I could see him, maybe dress. But I have to look. Deck, is he off the 6th game or does he have one game left? He has one. So if he has one more, if you take him off, then all that money counts against cap. So there's the finances too. So I might guess that he'll sit out one more game. Brinkman did not practice today. Got a little bit of a shoulder injury, but nothing saying he's going to be out. Tanner Green with the knee, he didn't practice. Javon Leake has an illness. He didn't practice. Shackle also was out. Jalen Williams just kind of had a day off today, so a little bit of rest from wear and tear. So, but he should be good to go. So there you have it. Nick Anderson didn't play last weekend, still on the 6th game. They might give him an extra week off anyway. So, well, not an extra week, just fulfill the full 6 gamer. So there is some salary implication there, but it's an abdominal issue. So you don't want to rush that back and re-aggravate it. So that would not be wise at all. Hey guys, what is the benefit for the CHL? Why would they agree to 19-year-olds? Well, for those who don't know, if the CHL, you have an 18-year or 19-year-old player who goes to the NHL, you get compensated for that directly to the team. And it's a significant chunk. So that now, in part of the negotiations, if you lose a 19-year-old to the AHL, would you get the same thing? If you do, then that's why. That's a reason why the CHL agrees to it. They don't love it, don't get me wrong. And I think, honestly, like I've said, out of 60 teams, there might be 4 guys who you'd say, okay, this guy's ready. He could go to the American League. We know for sure he's going to play in the top 9, maybe top 6, or he's going to play in the top 4, 5 defense on your team, maybe run a power play like a Zane Perrick, for instance. I could see that. The problem is there's 32 teams. And having seen it before, I have no doubt in my mind that some teams will be like, well, our 19-year-old's ready. And we want to control him. We want to have our guys look. They don't even think about the fact that he's not ready physically, mentally, confidently. He's not ready. But the thing is, all the players feel they're ready. And so sometimes you have to protect the player from himself, just like in injuries. But in this case, rushing them. And you need someone to say, this is not the best path. I get the NHL is the end goal. If it's the immediate goal, I think that can be a problem. Right? You can have, hey, I want to make it. Of course you can say you want to make it. I understand all that. I'm not saying don't have a dream. But it's like, did you guys see the story? I don't know, Cons. Did you see the 60-year-old, maybe, might even be older, I got to look, might be 66, who just retired from work, went back to college, and is a musician, loves music, because he always wanted to be on a varsity band. And he made the band. And what he said was, he goes, people retire, dreams don't. It was a great line. Like, I loved it. So, you know what? That's something you always want to do. Why not? Let's go to school. He's got a full course load and is in band. He's in band performing at the games. Absolutely living his best life.
That's LSU too. Like Death Valley. That would be pretty cool. Like a good spot to do it. The environment you're going to be in. I'm with you. 66 years old.
Yeah, 66.
Good
man.
for him.
But that was a great line. People retire, dreams don't. So, you know what? Hey, if the dream and the goal is the NHL, that's all. But it doesn't mean it has to come right away, because sometimes you can derail it. Right? You get off the wrong path. Sometimes it's really hard to get back on that path. And I tell you, I can go through the list. I've seen it time and time again. 20-year-olds who still could be eligible. And I get they played 3-4 years in junior, and that's fine. But still. And everyone's like, oh, they got nothing left to prove. But if they're not ready, you know what they have left to prove is their future. That it still can be successful. And you go there, and I've seen second rounders, lots of them. Like, why do you think, and lots of third, fourth, and fifth rounders, why do you think there's more undrafted players in the NHL than there are third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh rounders? Right? Why do you think that is? Because you know what? The undrafted guys aren't getting rushed. Right? They're kind of like, just let them keep developing. Right? There's not the pressure from the players group, their agent themselves, and from the organization. And a lot of those guys, you know what? They aren't dealing with because sometimes there's a little bit of stress. Like, it's a lot for an 18, 19-year-old to take on. Like, oh my God, everybody's like, oh, you got drafted. Because here's the truth. Like, it's a simple thing. Like, I remember my wife, because she's not a huge sports fan. When my nephew got drafted, she just thought, well, that automatically means he plays in the NHL. And I'm like, no, he's in the depth. Now he's got to try to go to the American League. Then he's got to try to go to the NHL. Then he's got to try to stay there. Like, it's really hard. Right? I think there's lots of people that just think, and lots of people who are hockey people, when I tell them the number that 97% of WHL players don't play in the NHL, 97. People are like, what? That can't be right. But it's true. Right? It's true. Now, lots of them can play pro, play in the American League. Some play in the ECHL. Some go to Europe. Awesome. Right? Maybe you're going to go to NCAA now. Many went to U Sport, got a degree. It's fantastic. But it just shows you how hard it is. And so when you rush it, all you do, I think, is make it harder on yourself. And I firmly believe it lowers your chances of success long term. And there's lots of examples of that happening. So every year I remind parents, and I know some parents, like they haven't been in the hockey world really. And that's not a knock. That's not a bad thing. Because you're probably not the crazy parent. You're not over the top, and your son or daughter, not daughter in this case, but your son, right? Hey, it's a good player. He's been drafted high, has a chance to go to the WHL at 16. And a lot of people don't know, and I always try to tell people this, and the organizations don't like that I say it, but it's the truth. They do not care about your son's career like you do. They never will, right? They can tell you they will, but they don't. Okay? They just don't. Because they want their organization to have success. And hey, maybe your son's one of them. It doesn't mean that they don't want success, but they just don't have the same viewpoint. If that 16-year-old can be a better fourth liner than an 18-year-old, they'll take the 16-year-old because they're worried about this year. And they still believe, well, yeah, but he learns the league and he gets comfortable in mind. I've heard all the reasonings. But then tell me why there's so many 16-year-olds that are out of the league at 18. Because it goes there as a fourth line player. And you got to remember that most of these 16-year-old kids, and they're 16. Try to think back to when you were 16. Do you have the mental fortitude to be good at something? For all of your 10 years from the age of 6 to 15, if you go to the WHL at 16, most likely you've been the best player on your team since you're 7 years of age or 8, or one of the best. Right? You got tons of ice time. You're scoring lots of goals. If you're a forward, even a defenseman, you're probably scoring a lot. You're like, oh, this is great. I'm having the best time. Then you go to the WHL. Now you're playing 10 minutes a night, 8 minutes a night sometimes. You're not scoring. And when most of your hockey to that date, you viewed yourself as, I'm a productive player. That's your identity. It's hard to adapt. Now, and trust me, grown men, I remember talking to Ethan Morrow about it. Ethan Morrow was a 14th overall draft pick. 14th overall in the NHL, right? Ethan Morrow was a really productive junior player. He scored 40 goals. Right? He had 98 points the year he was drafted. 98 in 59 games. Right? The next year he had 66 points. He actually had 96 points in 61 games, like 48 goals. He's a good player. He gets to the NHL and literally he's like, man, my first training camp. I'm like, God damn, I'm just not as skilled as some of these guys. And he had a pretty good career. He scored 20 goals, 17 goals, 15 goals, right? Played 900 plus games, but he had a change. He became a checker. And I remember him telling me, he goes, I was lucky because I kind of was like, oh my God, I just don't think I'm as skilled as these guys. And I recognize it. And so I adapted. But it was still hard. Like, it's hard. Some days you can go a month in the NHL and not score a goal if you're a bottom six player. A month. And I know you convince yourself, hey, I'm killing penalties, I'm doing all this. But now you're going to ask a 16-year-old to do that? And you're going to be mentally tough enough? Come on. So I always remind parents, you have more of a say than you think. And don't ever buy into this garbage that if you speak up in a kind, professional way, you're not getting blackballed. That's a myth. Organizations don't just say, oh, mom and dad are looking out for their son. They ask us some fair questions. He's not playing very much. They want him to go back to a low level and play more. Never. If any GM gets upset at you about that, you're in the wrong organization. That's what I will tell you. It's just the truth. And the good organizations won't do it. Sadly, though, there are good organizations that still have 16-year-olds playing, on the fourth line. And some of them come out of it okay, but lots don't. And is it worth it? Like, there's tons of 17 and 18-year-old kids who are playing in junior A or BCHL that would love to be in the WHL. They're going to get a year scholarship. And I got this text. Hey, Gregor, maybe the reason why you go at 16 is so you guarantee a year of scholarship. Okay. But here's the thing. If scholarship is your reasoning, and that's fair, then let's look at it this way. And I've talked to many players and many teams. You can negotiate. You say, okay, I want a year when I sign. That gets me 1 year. Now you can play at 17, 18, 19, and 20. There's 4 years. And you get your 1 year of signing, that's 5. Because if you're worried about going to college, then you're probably not getting drafted. Right? So there you go. You get your scholarship to go to U Sport. And now with NCAA, there's even less of an urgency to rush at 16. You can play 17, 18, 19. Then go NCAA. Right? What's the problem? So I don't see that as a real big argument in that one. Hey guys, CHL's in trouble losing 150 kids in 1 year of NCAA from Jason. I don't know if they lost that many because how many came back, right? Because I know the stories of them leaving get a lot of the news, but then the ones coming back, no one really talks about. So I'm going to talk to Stephen Ellis because I know he's been tracking and I'll get the exact number of what it was. So if that's 150 kids over 60 teams though, right? It's 2.5 kids per team. And then how many teams got a guy back? So yeah, it's not ideal. I totally agree with you. Do I think it's going to stick at that number all the time? I do not. And let's count how many went this year and how many come back during the season. That's what I'm going to be interested in. So it's fair to look at it, but I don't know. It's early on. So yes, there was there was a pretty big exodus this year, but I will get Stephen Ellis. I know has been tracking it. So we'll get the exact numbers and then find out as we track it, how many guys come back during the year. Cause I think we're going to see some of that for sure. When we come back, Jeff Patterson will join us as playing for your brother became a real hot topic all of a sudden. And we'll discuss that. And a team that went from going to the second round of the playoffs to being out of the playoffs, having lots of drama. It's been a pretty quiet offseason. I think that would be a good thing. We'll find out if it's true next on the Jason Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
It all started in 2006.
The year Twitter was founded.
Google bought YouTube.
We played Wii Sports.
And On the Rocks opened, changing Jasper Avenue forever.
Celebrate 19 years of OTR on September 19th.
Featuring Edmonton's own, The Royal Foundry.
With Party Band Kurt,
DJ Deadly Nedley, and DJ Kenny K.
Edmonton's biggest party started in '06 and is still rocking harder than ever.
See you September 19th.
At On the Rocks.
Jasper Ave and 118.
$1 plus tax for a smooth, small premium roast coffee at McDonald's? That means rich, full-bodied flavor at a price that's just as satisfying. Must be McCafe. Enjoy a small McCafe premium roast coffee for just $1 plus tax at participating McDonald's in Canada. Prices exclude delivery.
Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
That's the sound of Harley you've been dreaming about. And this is the sound of opportunity knocking. And it's coming from Harley-Davidson of Edmonton.
Our end of season sale is on, and we're clearing the floor with unbelievable prices on a huge selection of pre-owned bikes. This is your moment to own the legend.
Find your dream machine at Harley-Davidson of Edmonton on the Yellowhead Trail. Locally owned and operated by the Kent family and celebrating 45 years.
What's your vision for your community? At Vision Credit Union, ours is a thriving rural Alberta where kids have team jerseys, firefighters have the gear they need, and community kitchen fridges stay full. It's why we give back millions every year through grants, donations, sponsorships, and profit shares. Because when your community succeeds, we all do. Bank somewhere with Vision. Vision Credit Union. We see banking differently. Learn more at visioncu.ca.
Stollery Children's Hospital Foundation Mighty Millions Lottery bonus prize deadline is midnight Friday. Go top shelf to score the Oilers in $75,000 bonus prize. Lower bowl Oilers season seats plus $75,000 cash. You're also in to win the Porsche Paris early bird and the $2.5 million grand prize. A luxury show home in Cameron Heights. Hurry. Bonus prize deadline is midnight Friday. Be mighty. Buy your tickets now at MightyMillionsLottery.com.
The employee pricing event is on now at GMC. Right now, get up to $14,000 off the 2025 Sierra 1500 Denali Ultimate. Bring power wherever you go with a 6.2-liter EcoTech V8 engine with dynamic fuel management technology. Bring style to the open road with a signature Denali Vader chrome grille and accents. And keep comfort top of mind with available Super Cruise hands-free driver assistance capability. Employee pricing is on now. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. On the Rocks is celebrating 19 incredible years at their iconic location and want to celebrate with you. Join them September 19th for an incredible night of live music and so much more. On the Rocks, YEG.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$4:25. Welcome back on a lovely Wednesday afternoon. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, Oilers Nation, and Sports 1440 YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. The Athletics gave up the lead in the top of the ninth, but then they won it in the bottom of the ninth. So that puts Boston 3 games back of the Jays. The Jays also have 2 games in hand. If the Jays go 10-8, the Yankees would have to go 14-4, and the Red Sox would have to go 13-3. So that's just if the Jays go 10-8. So they're in a pretty good position to win the AL, and if they'll win the AL, most likely they'll finish either first or second for sure, as they're battling the Detroit Tigers, currently half a game ahead of the Tigers. So lots of races, lots of fun down the stretch in MLB. We got NFL, we got CFL, and NHL rookie camps officially open today. They'll be on the ice tomorrow. Then there's lots of those tournaments, or in the case of the Oilers, just a little mini 2-game series. They're taking on the Flames Friday night in Edmonton, and then Sunday in Calgary, as we go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's. And what better way to start your day than a $1 premium roast coffee? Small one, give you a little perk to start your day, only at McDonald's. All day, every day, $1 coffee. As Jeff Patterson, Vancouver Canucks reporter, joins us. Jeffrey, welcome back to the show, my man. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm just left to remember fondly Young Stars in Penticton. It is no more, obviously, Oilers and Flames doing their thing. Canucks and the Kraken are going to have a little inter-border battle here down in Seattle over the weekend. But Canucks are going to Penticton for their main camp. So we will get to spend some time in the South Okanagan. But Young Stars was always a terrific way to sort of kick off the hockey season, put summer in the rearview mirror. Maybe someday they'll get it back together, but not this year.
No. So do they play just a home and away with Seattle, similar to Edmonton, Calgary?
No, both games in Seattle this year. And then next year, I think there's going to be a 2-game set out in Abbotsford is the plan, as I understand it.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, I guess that's maybe a little bit farther to travel than Edmonton and Calgary. So, looking at, I guess across the borders more than anything, but looking at the Canucks, it's been a much quieter offseason, which I think is a good thing in Vancouver, considering the loudness wasn't always the most positive for the Canucks. I know there's some people freaking out because Jack Hughes answered a question honestly, hey, I'd like to play with my brother. And everyone's like, oh my God, they're going to try to get together. And I'm like, dude, you know how many brothers have played in the NHL who couldn't play together? Like, they all want to play together. Why wouldn't they? Doesn't mean they get to, but the Canucks, this is a big year. A, they want to bounce back, but B, they want to keep setting the foundation to entice Quinn Hughes to want to stay, correct?
Right. I think it's important for people to understand that, and your point's a good one. Like, if you ask most brothers, they'd say, sure, yeah, we'd like to play. How many ultimately do get the opportunity to suit up with their brothers? Not that many. I mean, Rob and Scott Niedermayer won a Stanley Cup in Anaheim, and Jeff and Ross Courtnall played together here in Vancouver. Like, it does happen. But the minute that Luke was drafted by the New Jersey Devils, that changed the calculus, of course, because there were 2 of them in New Jersey and 1 here in Vancouver. And so people start to connect the dots, and it is unique. And the other part is these guys are ridiculously close as a family, and they spend the entire offseason together training and having fun out on the lake and doing all the things that brothers do. But yes, Quinn, and like Quinn will tell you throughout the hockey season, he watches as much New Jersey Devil hockey as he can with the time change. Generally, the games are on before Quinn has to go to work out here on the West Coast. So they are tight. And Quinn is now 2 years away from being able to dictate his future and ultimately the future of the Hughes family. So it's not nothing. There are a lot of people out here trying to suggest that this isn't a story. Why are we bothering? Well, Quinn is eligible to sign an extension with the Canucks next July 1st. If he doesn't, at that point, the Canucks have some serious decisions to make, because he'll be 12 months away from walking out the door and leaving the Canucks in a lurch and them getting nothing in return. And of course, it complicates matters that if Quinn does indicate to the Canucks that that is his ultimate plan, there's not many teams around the NHL that are going to say, well, we'll give you a bunch of assets to get a guy for 1 year when we all know that he's walking to free agency. So, look, lots of arms and legs to this story, but there's nothing that Quinn can do. And Quinn has been consistent in saying, like, I can't sign an extension until July 1st, so I'm trying to live in the moment right here, right now, and do the best I can to help this hockey club. Ultimately, Quinn Hughes wants to win, like most guys in the National Hockey League. If the Canucks can demonstrate to him that there is a path forward and that last year was the outlier and they can get back to something close to the 50-win, 109-point season that got them to the second round against the Oilers, I think Quinn's going to be interested. Canucks remain the only team that can go the max deal, and with the terms of the new CBA, they can still go 8 years on an extension with him next summer. If it's $15 million, like, that's $120 million over the long haul that no other team can even get close to. And so, I know we're at a point in time where Stars are thinking about shorter-term deals, and Quinn Hughes might look that route as well. So again, so much of it depends on the Canucks showing their captain in good faith that, yes, they know what they're doing. They've got their hands on the wheel here, and that they can, with, as you said, the removal of the drama from last year, like they are really leaning into good vibes out here, Gregor. And I don't know how far good vibes can take them, but we know that bad vibes certainly didn't serve them very well last year. So I suppose anything in that regard is a step in the right direction. But you're right. I mean, Evander Kane, really the only new piece up front. They're hoping that Elias Pettersson has done some soul searching here in the offseason and, put on his 13 pounds and is coming back leaner and meaner and trying to get better, certainly better be better than the 45 points that he put up last year. Yeah. So, I mean, so many things got off the rails for the Vancouver Canucks. I don't think they were as bad as it looked on a lot of nights. Through it all, they had 90 points. It wasn't like they had 75 points. It wasn't one of the worst seasons in franchise history. It just felt that way because there was so much noise and so many distractions, and they really never could sort of get on any kind of run. But maybe the most encouraging thing, and I was out at UBC watching the summer skates, and I know it's summer skates, but keep in mind at this time last year, Thatcher Demko was nowhere to be found. And just watching Thatcher Demko go through his routines, even in summer skates, facing his teammates, looks unencumbered. He looks healthy. He looks ready to go. And maybe that, more than anything, is the best news that the Vancouver Canucks can have at this time of the year, that their elite puck stopper is going to be available to them, because he didn't start last season until December 10th and really never got on any kind of run up until the 2 weeks leading into the Four Nations break, and then he got hurt again. So injuries are a huge part of the Thatcher Demko story. But right now, he looks fit and ready to go, and we'll see what that looks like when they start playing for keeps on October the 9th.
Looking at Evander Kane, where would be your best guess on where he plays in the lineup?
Yeah, this is a discussion point out here because, again, they didn't do an awful lot in the offseason. If their one move was picking up a 34-year-old who missed all of last season with injuries, and they think that this is a top-line player at this stage of his career, what does that say about the rest of the cast that they have assembled? And yet, if Evander Kane is fully healthy and committed and in a contract year is ready to deliver most nights, the Canucks can absolutely use the skill set that he brings and some snarl and the edge that he plays with when he's at the top of his game. So, is he going to get a chance to play with Elias Pettersson? I think right now the thinking is that they will start the season with Jake DeBrusk and Brock Besser on the wings with Elias Pettersson, and that Evander Kane could very well find himself in a top six role, but not on the top line that, lots of questions out here about Philip Hedl, who they got back in return for JT Miller. Looks like he's going to slot in as the second line center. Can he stay healthy? That's always been the issue with him, but you could look at a second line of Hedl in the middle with Kane on one side and Connor Garland over on the other. Nils Höglander is sort of in the mix as well. They've got lots of NHL caliber wingers, but they don't really have elite scoring wingers. Like last year, Jake DeBrusk led the team with 28 goals for a season in Vancouver at 5.5. That was a nice signing. Can he get to 30? Can he be a 35 goal scorer? He got to 28 with Elias Pettersson basically AWOL for most of last season. So I think DeBrusk thinks there's more to give there. Brock Besser dropped from 40 to 25, re-signed. They need him to get back to 30, a bunch of 30-goal seasons at the very least. But, they don't have a Zach Hyman. They don't have a Sam Reinhart. They don't have that elite goal-scoring winger. They don't have a ton of elite-level forwards, and especially if Elias Pettersson continues to struggle. So, goal scoring was an issue last year. I think goal scoring is going to remain an issue. They're hoping that with a healthy Thatcher Demko and a beefed up blue line, that they can find ways to grind out victories. It may not be pretty, but at the end of the night, they think they can win 3-2 hockey games. The problem is when the opponents get 3 or 4, how do they fare on those sorts of nights? Do they have the firepower to match?
Jeff Patterson joins us here on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Looking at Elias Pettersson, the defender. What's your expectations from him this year?
Yeah, I mean, talk about a guy arriving ahead of schedule, a third-round pick, just 20 years of age, and they threw him in his NHL debut last year against Washington in a home game when the Caps were the top team in the NHL, and didn't look out of place that night and didn't look out of place in the 28 games that he played. So I think they have him slotted in for a roster spot. The question is he an every-night guy they've got Quinn Hughes and Marcus Pettersson as the 1-2 on the left side. Then it's a question of Derek Forbert, who was a big part of their penalty kill. A solid veteran. Don't talk about him a lot. Doesn't make a lot of noise. Just goes out there and was pretty effective for the Canucks when he was healthy last year. But that forced DPD, as they call the other Elias Pettersson out here, to his right side. You're asking a rookie to play on his offhand. I mean, that's tough and steep learning curve. But again, he just crushed anything that they threw at him last year. But now you've got Tom Willander, their first-round pick from a couple of years ago, who's a natural righty, and he's ready to break in to the NHL after 2 seasons at Boston University. So with Willander and DPD and Victor Mancini, another young right-side defenseman that they got from the Rangers in the Miller trade, they're really excited about sort of the next wave that they've got here on defense. But your guess is as good as mine, sort of where they slot on the depth chart. They're all young, all relatively inexperienced, but all with a fair bit of promise. So, that's a position of strength for the Vancouver Canucks. And if they do have to go out and address center ice and bolster that position, you're probably looking at dealing one of those players. They don't want to give up any of those guys, but you got to give to get. And so that is where their strength is right now organizationally, is young defensemen. And we'll see how it all shakes out. But they are really high on Elias Pettersson, the defenseman, just a throwback guy. Reminds a lot of people of Matthias Ohlund from his time here. Big, solid, likes contact, invites contact, separates guys from the puck. The question is there, and nobody seems to know right now, is there more to his game? Does he have more to give offensively? At this stage, they're not expecting that, but can he round out some areas of the game? But again, as a 20-year-old getting thrown in, playing, learning on the job, in a season of disappointments, he was one of the bright spots for the Vancouver Canucks, no question.
One of the biggest bright spots last year was Kiefer Sherwood came in, and performed exceptionally well. Obviously, broke the record for hits in the season. I don't know if he's going to match that again, but do you see anybody? Is there, if you had to put money on somebody being the surprise Canuck this year, who would it be?
I guess I would look at a guy like Nils Höglander, who isn't really much of a surprise. I mean, he's 24 going on 25 now. 24 goals all at even strength 2 seasons ago, dropped down to 8. And he signed a contract extension early last season, so it kicks in, you could live with. You didn't have to be happy, and I'm sure he wasn't, and the organization wasn't, with 8 goals last year at $1 million. But now he's making 3, and that changes the dynamic. It changes the expectation. And it's the first of a 3-year contract for this guy. So they need him to get back to doing what he can do. And he's shown he can be a 20-plus goal scorer in the National Hockey League. But he fought confidence. This is a guy that's on his 4th head coach in his 5th NHL season. We talk about noise. Plus he went down and he spent a stint in the AHL for a while there. So in his time in the Canuck organization, it's been nothing but chaos and turnover and churn at the coaching level, and a lot of voices and a lot of asks from different people. He just has to find some smooth sailing, and he came in, he tested well last year. He was one of the best fitness testers at training camp. That didn't mean much in the big picture, so really curious to see what it looks like. Where do they slot him in? But other than that, and I'm not sure there are a ton of candidates for real surprise. They had all those guys that contributed to Abbotsford's Calder Cup run, but they're all sort of tweeners, 24, 25-year-olds that you wonder how much more development is left there for guys like Linus Karlsson and Arshdeep Bains and Max Sasson. I think they'll all play for the Canucks, but I don't think any one of them is particularly poised to make a massive leap and burst onto the scenes and be a 20-goal scorer at the National Hockey League level. So I come back to this idea, and I know I'm not alone here in this market, that there are some legitimate concerns. They were in the bottom third in goal scoring last year, and you just wonder, even with Quinn Hughes doing Quinn Hughes things on the back end, Quinn Hughes led the team in scoring by 26 points. So they didn't have a forward with more than 50 points last year. So pretty hard to get where you want to go when your forwards are all kind of slugging it out at that level of production.
Yeah, Jeff Patterson joins us from Vancouver. Philip Hedl, what are we hearing on his health, and how much of a concern is his availability throughout the year going to be?
Well, I can tell you, he was flying at UBC in the summer skate on September the 9th, if that means anything. Mm-hmm. By all accounts, he had a really good summer. He got a clean bill of health before he left here. Season was cut short, took a devastating dirty hit from Jason Dickinson in a late season game against Chicago. Hit never should have happened. The league didn't punish Dickinson, but he ends up paying the price and missed the final 15 games or so. And this is a guy that's been plagued with concussions throughout his career. And so the Canucks knew that. They knew what they were getting into. We'll see if it's buyer beware. He twice has played more than 70 games in the National Hockey League. So it's not like he has never been able to complete a full season, but this is his first look now. And, there were some moments. His speed was noticeable in the games that he played for the Canucks after the trade, but part of that was they were such a slow team that anybody with wheels was going to look fast on the Vancouver Canucks. But he did a lot of good things. The underlying numbers were terrific, was able to gain the zone, set up, but there was no finish, and it was kind of frustrating watching him that a lot of offense would die on his stick. And so, can he find wingers that work with him? We talked about Kane and Garland. I'm not even sure. I don't know who the right fit is for a guy like Filip Chytil. So I think that's going to be part of the learning here at training camp. And I'm guessing that Adam Foote and his new coaching staff, they have a slightly better understanding. And somewhere at Rogers Arena, there's probably a whiteboard that already has some preliminary line combinations. But, a guy like Brock Besser played a little bit with Chytil. Besser's not a speed guy. That wasn't much of a mix. So I think it's really important that Besser and Elias Pettersson reestablish some chemistry there. But that is going to be one of the things. Can Chytil hold his own? Can he stay healthy? 45 points is his career high to this point. Again, they need guys that overproduce. So when you ask about surprises, maybe a full healthy season and some point production out of Filip Chytil would qualify as a little bit of a surprise, just because his availability hasn't been where he or they would like it to this point in his career.
Jeff, always good to catch up with you, man. We'll talk to you again soon. Of course, Oilers and Canucks facing off in the Oilers' second game of the regular season. And I think some preseason stuff as well coming up. So we'll talk to you again soon, man. Have a great day.
Always great being with you. Thanks for having me on.
There you go. That's Jeff Patterson from Rinkwide in Vancouver. The Canucks, think about it. He didn't have a forward with 50 points last year. Elias Pettersson, hello. Paging Elias Pettersson. He needs to show up. Everything else after that, the other guys, Besser, yeah, they got to be better, but it starts and stops with Elias Pettersson. If they're going to get back to the playoffs, he's got to be way, way better. That was Around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's. When we come back, 5 questions. The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we believe that life shouldn't hurt. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't know that sometimes it really hurts. I mean, we've seen people at their worst moments in life, when they feel they have nowhere to turn, or at a time when they felt like their problem just wouldn't ever go away. We've also seen people who thought to themselves, it'll just go away on its own, or this is no big deal. I don't want to bother anyone about this. Don't know where to turn to, or think it's no big deal. Either way, we have the technology, techniques, and skills to help you get back to it, whatever your it may be. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
It's the Bricks famous tent sale. Save up to 60% off clearance items in the tent and store, with more amazing deals arriving daily in every department. Like up to $1,800 off power reclining sectionals and up to $700 off big screen TVs. Buy more, save more when you buy 2 or more major appliances, up to $1,000 off. Plus, get a free Bluetooth party speaker when you spend $9.99 or more on furniture. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
I'm a little hungry.
I've got Booster Balls from Booster Juice.
Booster what now?
Booster Balls. They're little protein bites packed with nutrients. Chewy, crunchy, yummy, and new flavors all the time. Like this little guy. The new mint chocolate booster ball. Peppermint, cocoa, coconut, peanut butter, maple syrup, all rolled up into a delightful little bite-sized snack.
Why am I just hearing about this now?
I don't know.
Can I have one?
No.
Booster Juice. Canadian born. Blending since 1999.
At Fountain Tire, get up to 25% off select tires, up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires, and $50 off $150 service until October 18th. Restrictions apply. Book today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
It takes grit. It takes heart. It's the legendary Canadian Finals Rodeo, powered by ATV. From October 1st to 4th in Edmonton, the nation's best go head-to-head in a battle of pure willpower. Witness the raw strength and adrenaline at Rogers Place. Plus, soak up the Western lifestyle at the Canadian Country Expo with free admission and shuttles running between the expo and the arena. This is more than a rodeo. It's a showdown. Get your tickets now at CFR.ca.
Stollery Children's Hospital Foundation Mighty Millions Lottery bonus prize deadline is midnight Friday. Go top shelf to score the Oilers in $75,000 bonus prize. Lower bowl Oilers season seats plus $75,000 cash. You're also in to win the Porsche Paris early bird and the $2.5 million grand prize. A luxury show home in Cameron Heights. Hurry, bonus prize deadline is midnight Friday. Be mighty. Buy your tickets now at MightyMillionsLottery.com.
Imagine a busy classroom. Now imagine it if no one was willing to teach. Here's the reality. It's getting harder to keep teachers in the profession and to attract new people to an increasingly challenging job. Pay for teachers has fallen far behind inflation and cost of living. With fair wages, we can keep the ones we have and hire more. But we need the provincial government to step up. Because a fair deal for teachers is a good deal for kids. A message from the Alberta Teachers Association.
Ah, Hawaii. The warmth of a golden sunset as the waves roll in. The freshness of a waterfall. The lush scent of tropical flowers in the air.
You don't need to travel to enjoy all Hawaii has to offer. You just need to order pizza. Bring Hawaii home with the Aloha Trio, available for a limited time at Papa John's. Try our classic Hawaiian, super Hawaiian, or Hawaiian barbecue chicken for just $19.99 each. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
The Spruce Grove Saints home opener is Friday, September 19th, and you don't want to miss it. The Saints will be playing their first game in the brand new Thompson Family Arena as they host league champion Brooks Bandits at 7 p.m. With a completely new and exciting in-game experience, including a state-of-the-art Jumbotron, the Thompson Family Arena will be the place to be. Don't miss the Spruce Grove Saints home opener, September 19th. For tickets, visit tickets.sgsaints.ca.
Darling, you got to let me know.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Harley-Davidson of Edmonton on the Yellowhead Trail, locally owned and operated by the Kent family and celebrating 45 years. See all their great bikes at hdedmonton.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$4.49. Welcome back. Wednesday afternoon. Hump day's almost over, boys and girls. Just grind it out. I got about 13 more minutes, so get through it. You'll be good to go. You get home, relax. Hey, the smoke was clearing up. I mean, out there in a few hours, but maybe it's even clearer now. So that will be fantastic as you make your way home. If you're a Jays fan, you're excited because the Red Sox lost. And the Jays have a chance to move 3.5 ahead of them, plus have 2 games in hand. So Jays and first place in the AL looks better by the day, especially if they get another win tonight. Get a win tonight, that guarantees you another series win, this time over Houston, as it's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Remember, use the promo code Gregor50. Now, you can use as many times as you like. Make a $50 donation, make a $50 deposit, and you'll get a $50 free play when you use Gregor50. Do it multiple times. Good luck. PlayAlberta.ca. It's time now for 5 questions brought to you by The Brick, where saving you more is what they do as the tent sale continues now. 60% off original prices on clearance items in the tent, and there's new items arriving daily. So if you've been there once, you might want to go back in if you're looking for a fantastic deal. You know, maybe you have that son or daughter, they're moving out, they're going to school for the first time. You need that black leather couch. Young people moving away, it's a must-have. Easy clean up spills. It's very comfortable if your friends to sleep on. Perfect. The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Jason, when you're looking at the Oilers rookie camp here, any under the radar players you're looking forward to watching?
Probably Carfagna, the defenseman, simply because when you look at age and everybody else, like there's only 2 D-men, him and Boaki, that are even signed, who might be helping the Oilers in the future. Not this year. Like outside of Howard and Savoy, there's no one that in this rookie camp I expected to play games this year, unless it's maybe later in the season. So him, and then for a forward, I'll take Josh Szymanski.
I'm going to look at, I always say, well, I don't always say it, but I'm going to say it. You can't teach size. Szymanski's a guy, like you said, 6'5", 200. And then Connor Clattenburg, 5th round pick, 2024. I think he's someone I'm going to watch out for. The numbers weren't massive, but, 16 goals, 46 games played with the Flint. I'm going to watch out for him and just see what he can do. Question number 2 for you. Is there an NHL franchise that you think would be the worst to cheer for right now as a fan?
Oh, geez. Worst to cheer for, just for this coming season?
Just going forward from here on out.
Well, it's probably going to be hard for Penguins fans, although, come on, you can't stay at the top forever. But I think they're in for some rough years there. And, it's a good question. Well, it can't get any worse for Buffalo, so God, it's only got to be up from there. I'm going to say, I think the Nashville Predators. I'll go, and I love the Preds. I love that, but yeah, I think it might be some tough sledding there for the next few years.
Yeah, I'm with you, because I was looking in that division too, because I just think that the top teams in that division, with like Minnesota potentially coming on, it's going to be tough. Chicago's got some good players, no doubt, but I just think it's going to be a tough road for them. They've had the Stanley Cups in the past, but going forward, even with Connor Bedard, I think that's going to be a long road. Other teams have a few more exciting players, but I'm going to say Chicago. Question number 3 for you. I saw a story on TSN talk about Austin Matthews and asking, is he still the league's best goal scorer? Obviously a good season last year, but not by his standards. Right now, who would you say are your top 3 pure goal scorers in the NHL?
Well, if Matthews is healthy, he's probably still the best pure shooter. Leon Draisaitl is the most consistent goal scorer now, for sure. And God, look at what Ovi did last year, but I'm probably going to take Ovi out just due to age. He broke the record. I don't know if it'll be the same. I'll go David Pastrnak.
Good pick. Yeah, hard to disagree with Leon Draisaitl. I mean, all he does now is score 50 goals. I'm going to leave Ovi in there because I hope he can keep it going. And a different name, one of my favorite guys to watch, and you talked about him earlier on the show, is a guy who could be a free agent, Kyle Connor. When he's healthy, I think he's a guy to always watch out for. So I'll throw those 3 in there. Austin Matthews, realistically, probably are in the conversation. Still, question number 4 for you. After losing to Canada in their friendly yesterday, Wales coach Craig Bellamy said he was not happy with the way the Canadians celebrated. I really hate losing more than I like winning, he said, and there's a big difference in that. I see them celebrating at the end of the game, and I'm like, long pause, I see you in a World Cup. I hope I see you again. Do you like hearing this kind of talk from a coach, or is this just sour grapes?
What's the ultimate? Well, it's the ultimate sour grapes. Now we're whining because the opposing team celebrates a victory at the pro level. What are we talking about here? Craig Bellamy, grab a clue. What a pathetic response. Give me a break. Oh, I didn't like how they were celebrating. Wah. Guess what, Craig? I got news for you. The doctor called. He said you'll make it.
I always say, show me a good loser, I'll show you a loser. So I don't mind a little bit of this, but this is not England or France or Italy beating you and celebrating. This is Canada. Like, we're still working our way up as a soccer nation. So this was a big win to go and defeat Wales in that fashion. If I'm the Canadians, I say bring it on. You guys didn't do anything. We scored. Could have had more. Scored a beautiful free kick in the 41st minute. Yeah, to me, this is just whining. And hey, give the babies bottle rematch. I say you do it. Final question for you, Gregor. National TV Dinner Day. TV Dinner Day. Are you a fan of the TV dinners? And if not, what would you say would be your go-to quick meal?
Definitely not a fan. I think I tried one once. Nope. So if I need a quick go-to meal that I'm making at home? You're saying it's not fast food?
Let's just say like very quick. You got
at
to
home.
eat and go. Yeah, from home.
I got to eat and go. Man, I can barbecue chicken in 15 minutes. 10 minutes. Is that enough? I don't know. It doesn't take a ton of prep, right? While you turn the barbecue on, it heats up. Way you go. So I guess you got to heat up. So maybe that'll take too long. So, could I go craft dinner? Still a classic go-to. I would probably go craft dinner. But I guess if I had to go as quick, that's filling, I just go hot dogs. Simple, easy.
I've never had a Hungry Man dinner. Never really saw the appeal in those, but I have had Michelinas in the past. Back when I worked at the grocery store, that was the quickest thing you could get. A Michelinas and a bun. There's my gourmet meal. So I have had them. I don't like to have them too often anymore, but my quick meal got to be a grilled cheese. Just throw it down, fry it up quickly, turn it on high, get it done efficiently, and that's it.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you know what? Honestly, like my favorite right now is I love my wife makes our bread at home now, and I love it. And so I just put that in the toaster and have the natural peanut butter. All good, man. That's quick. That'll fill me up. Fantastic. Take that and an apple to go and a banana. I'm rocking and rolling.
That would have been a good answer. Just a banana for apple. Yeah, that's a quick meal.
Oh yeah, love it. But a banana, like you take a banana and just put a little peanut butter on it, chop it up. Perfect. So yeah, it's become one of my go-to snacks at night. I'm not gonna lie. So try not to eat after 8 o'clock though, but that is one of the snacks. Simple, easy, nutritious, and delicious, as they like to say. Coming up, Mark Spector will join us. We are on the rookie camp, of course, today, on the ice tomorrow for the Edmonton Oilers. Some Elks injury news. Tanner Green, Connor Halley will tell you about that. So not ideal for the green and gold, but that's part of it and more as you're listening to the Jason Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca as we get to Sports 1440 update. Brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. In September, Northgate is helping feed families. For every truck sold, they will feed a family of 4. Farmers and small business owners get preferred rates in September. Northgate, this truck's for you.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
As Jason just mentioned, Edmonton Elks placing fullback Tanner Green on the 6-game IL with the knee injury. Also, some news of note: Jared Brinkman, defensive lineman, did not play with a knee or shoulder and foot injury, while Nick Anderson with the ab injury was limited. In the NHL, San Jose Sharks signing second overall pick Michael Misa to a 3-year entry-level contract. The 18-year-old scored 62 goals with 134 points in 65 games last season in the OHL with the Saginaw Spirit. Major League Baseball, Jays just about to get going as they look to make it 2 straight over the Houston Astros. First pitch, 5:07. Right now, Royals lead the Guardians 1-0. You've also got the Phillies, Mets, Marlins, Nationals, and Orioles, Pirates all scoreless. Earlier today, Rangers doubled up the Brewers 6-3. It was the Athletics over the Red Sox 5-4. Giants fall at home to the Diamondbacks 5-3, and the Angels get past the Twins 4-3. 3-time All-Star first baseman Anthony Rizzo announced his retirement from Major League Baseball earlier today. He spent 14 seasons in the majors with the Padres, Cubs, and Yankees, playing last in 2024 with the Pinstripes, and in the WNBA tonight. We're moments away from tip-off out in Connecticut with the Sun hosting the Dream. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and hear another edition of the Oil Report. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Work never gets done by standing around. You have to put your words into action. And that's exactly what GS Construction does every single day. Our priorities are safety first, quality second, efficiency third. GS Construction works hard. It's true. But first comes the care, the planning, and the people. Underground infrastructure isn't just about machines and trenches and some traffic inconveniences. It's about doing things right. Find out more on what we do. Visit gsconstruction.ca.
$1 plus tax for a smooth, small premium roast coffee at McDonald's? That means rich, full-bodied flavor at a price that's just as satisfying. Must be McCafe. Enjoy a small McCafe premium roast coffee for just $1 plus tax at participating McDonald's in Canada. Prices exclude delivery.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
Experience a season of superior luxury, performance, and savings. The Fall Experience event is on now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. The all-new redesigned 2026 XC90 is here. Come drive one today. You won't be disappointed. Finance or lease a 2026 XC40 from 1.99%. And right now, you can save $7,500 on remaining 2025 XC60s. The Fall Experience event is on now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. Visit volvocarsedmonton.com.
Ah, Hawaii. The warmth of a golden sunset as the waves roll in. The freshness of a waterfall. The lush scent of tropical flowers in the air. You don't need to travel to enjoy all Hawaii has to offer. You just need to order pizza. Bring Hawaii home with the Aloha Trio, available for a limited time at Papa John's. Try our classic Hawaiian, super Hawaiian, or Hawaiian barbecue chicken for just $19.99 each. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
The Spruce Grove Saints home opener is Friday, September 19th, and you don't want to miss it. The Saints will be playing their first game in the brand new Thompson Family Arena as they host league champion Brooks Bandits at 7 p.m. With a completely new and exciting in-game experience, including a state-of-the-art Jumbotron, the Thompson Family Arena will be the place to be. Don't miss the Spruce Grove Saints home opener, September 19th. For tickets, visit tickets.sgsaints.ca.
Hey, did you hear what happened to Aiden?
Oh, yeah, it's heartbreaking.
Everyone knew this could happen. They've been posting those street races for months.
I know, right? Now his best friend is in the ICU. His family is devastated. All for some likes.
Totally wasn't worth it.
Street racing is deadly. Stop it before it stops you. A message from the government of Alberta.
Stollery Children's Hospital Foundation Mighty Millions Lottery bonus prize deadline is midnight Friday. Go top shelf to score the Oilers in $75,000 bonus prize. Lower bowl Oilers season seats plus $75,000 cash. You're also in to win the Porsche Paris early bird and the $2.5 million grand prize. A luxury show home in Cameron Heights. Hurry, bonus prize deadline is midnight Friday. Be mighty. Buy your tickets now at MightyMillionsLottery.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Did you know that Japa offers in-house and on-site service? Rain or shine, Japa Service Department is here for you. Get a quote now at japamachinery.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by playalberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 5 o'clock, you made it through. 60% of the work week for most of you is over. 2 days left. Now you're on the downside, baby, and you got MLB tonight, NFL tomorrow, CFL Friday, Saturday, NFL Sunday. Lots going on. You got some rookie games. Some of you are going to be going to that on Friday night or watching it. So your sporting calendar is pretty full, which is good. Lots going on. And you can listen to it all right here at Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, as well as Sports 1440 YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. We very much appreciate it. As always, it's brought to you by playalberta.ca, where you can get in the game. Use the promo code Gregor50. Make a $50 deposit. Get double your money. Pretty good deal. 2 for 1 at playalberta.ca. Time now for the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialist, baby. And you see them, and just remember, they always like to remind you, go through construction zones, Be cautious. They want to get home. They're sports fans just like you. Let them get home safe. GS Construction, as Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet joins us once again. Spec, good afternoon. How you doing?
Having a great day today, Jay. What's going on, man?
Oh man, there's lots going on. The Jays had another great comeback last night. Gets their fans all fired up. The building is rocking. Boston loses today, so that continues to help. The Yankees got absolutely obliterated last night. So we were crunching the numbers on the Jays. They go 10-8. They pretty much punched their ticket to finish first because New York would have to go 14-4, and Boston would have to go 13-3 to catch them. So pretty good chance here for the Jays. And obviously, if you go 11-7, well, then it's even harder. For those, and they'd have to go like 12-2, 14-2 if you're Boston, and 15-3 if you're New York. So pretty good odds there on that one. It is interesting. Kirill Kaprisov turns down that massive 8-year, $128 million deal, Spec. And I know people are speculating. I think it's term, Spec. I've been talking about this for a long time. I think the superstar players with the salary cap so unpredictable here, I don't know if I want to go long term.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we don't know. It's easy to say, oh, he turned down, 8 years, $128 million. What's going on here? What is that? $15 million a year for my bad math?
16, $128 million.
There you go. So, what you don't know is his camp may be telling Bill Guerin, we want 4 years, and that's all we want. And Bill Guerin may not be offering 4 years. So you don't know what you don't know. And it's awfully hard to wonder, to say 16 million is not enough for you. You're a winger, you're not a center, very, very top, good player, great player, but not the best player in the league. But maybe that's it. Maybe he doesn't want to marry himself to Minnesota and the Minnesota Wild for 8 years. And
yeah,
again,
I get it.
I get it.
Yeah, from a business standpoint, and also his age. Right, if he commits to 8 years and he's kind of saying, I'm playing in Minnesota my whole career. And so maybe he doesn't want to do that. I know some people might not want to hear that. And it's no different with Connor McDavid. There's a chance McDavid's whole career and I might not be spent in Edmonton. That's just the reality. The odds of his whole career being in Edmonton are pretty low when you look at the history of the game. Right. There's very few Steve Yzermans out there. Right. There's not that many of them. So heck, Sidney Crosby's career might not all be in Pittsburgh. The majority of it is, and Oiler fans are hoping the vast majority of McDavid's prime years are here, and so far they have been. And I really don't see any reason why he won't sign another deal, although I fully expect it to be a shorter-term deal at this phase for a variety of reasons. But, Kaprizov's kind of in the same boat. Jack Eichel came out today because those are the top three guys who potentially, and that's a key word, could be UFAs. And he was like, no, I'd like to re-sign in Vegas. And there's lots of big names, Spec, but at the end of the day, very few of them actually end up going to free agency. So Kaprizov might not sign for 8 years. I won't be stunned if he signs for 4.
No, and, different markets, let's face it, Vegas, as long as Vegas has a really good team and a Stanley Cup contender, they're at the very top of the heap of places you want to play, right? You don't have the Canadian thing where you can't walk the street. They have no state tax. They have a good team. It's a beautiful place to live. You can go to a restaurant and not be known. Like Tampa's, some of those American cities, if they put a contender down there, it's really hard to compete. So let's talk about Kaprizov in Minnesota. Some guys don't want to live necessarily their whole career in Minnesota because it's cold, it's winter. I get it. I live in Edmonton. They're also not a Stanley Cup contending team. The Edmonton Oilers, we know now that when you're contending for a cup, you got a chance at free agents. When you got Draisaitl and McDavid, you got a great chance to land free agents. When you're not a very good team and not contending, nobody wants to come play in Edmonton. So, that all of those factors come into play.
You just got to pay them more. Lucic, Sekera, they'll still come. You just got to pay them.
You overpay and it doesn't work. You pay a $6 million player $9 million, and how's that work for your team? So, and my point is this: that of course Jack Eichel wants to stay down there. Great team, great market, great organization. It's all perfect. Are they going to win for a long time? I mean, that's what Connor McDavid was asking up here. How long are the Oilers going to be really good for? Well, I think they can be really good for the next 4 years for sure, don't you?
Yeah, you know what I will say, though, about Vegas? Because I've had a few people that they say, And everyone says, oh, it's too cold in Edmonton. Try to live in Vegas when it's so hot that it's not fun. So there's always the extremes. Like, yeah, it's cold in Edmonton for about 3 weeks of the year. Like -10, -8 is not, and especially when you're an NHL player. You go in your heated garage at home, you drive your car, you go to the underground parking at the rink, right? Like it's not, and the guys who like it, like Ekholm, they like the weather. So it's, to me, more about being a competitive team than anything else. And if you can stay competitive, Detroit was not a city of bliss. Players stayed there all the time. There's a few little unique neighborhoods they could live in. They were fine. But the team was ultra competitive for 2 decades and spent boatloads of money. And so people were there. So to me, as much as it's about weather, I think that's a small percentage. It's more about the chance to win. But here's the truth. It's hard, like when free agency leaves to go chase the winner. Like, tell me how that works out. It's hard to leave and go somewhere else and have it be better.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of guys who've tried. Jerome McGinley tried.
How many have success?
And it's hard to chase a Stanley Cup if that's what you're getting at, for sure. Like Marian Hossa was on the wrong end of it for a while. He ended up in Chicago finally, and now he's a Hall of Famer and he's got his rings and he deserves them.
His was different. His was a plan where he signed it. He took less money for 1 year in Detroit. Why? Because he wanted to learn how to win and he wanted to be around that environment. Right. So because he only signed 1 year in Detroit and then he signed in Chicago and they won. Right. So he got traded. Right? But
did he not sign a year in Pittsburgh and lost to Detroit?
No, he got dealt at the trade deadline.
I got dealt. So he ended up in Pittsburgh. He lost to Detroit. He signed
1 year, and then he signed 1 year in Detroit after being in Pittsburgh. Yeah.
And lost to Pittsburgh, and then ended up in Chicago and won. So, hey, this isn't me. Let's make this clear. I got nothing bad to say about Marian Hossa. He's one of the best power forwards I've ever seen in my life. So he was a great, great player, solid citizen, good guy. It's hard to chase. It's hard to know what to do. It's hard to find the right team. And now with this cap system, for a guy that's going to make 16, 17 million, whether you're McDavid or Eichel or Kaprizov, it's hard to find a situation where they can fit you in and they got enough good players around you that you could win. This example in Edmonton, there's no better example. They have built and tried and worked and tried different things and brought in really good players and drafted McDavid and Draisaitl and Bouchard and got to 2 cups and they still haven't won. Like it's, you don't need to tell anyone else outside our market in the 7-8-0 here. It's wicked hard to win. They finally get to the cup a couple times and they match up against Florida. And let's face it, man, Florida just had something. They were better. And now you're going up again this year. It's another big, long run. And I think the Oilers can get to the cup and win it this year. I honestly do. But, oh, boy, it's a long road to get there, isn't it?
Oh, it's hard. Yeah. And that, like, when I hear, oh, I want to win. Well, yeah, they all want to win. There's only one winner every year, right? Like this. And with 32 teams now, there's going to be there's always been more players who don't win than win. And now that number just keeps increasing all the time. The percentage of players who win, who don't. And I understand, and I've always said, back in 30 years, the elite players not winning will be much more the norm than it was when you had 21 teams and even 6, because just do the math. You could get them all together and whatever. It was great. And now it's just, you can be a really good player who just, maybe you're not on a good team and you're on a good team, but not a great team. And that's going to happen for lots of guys. So I understand the thirst for it, but and I get why Connor McDavid's not rushing into it. He's going to look at all things. At the end of the day, I think he's going to look at everything and then come back and say, okay, so if I leave here, right, it's like moving the chessboard. I move here. Well, what are they going to do? What's going to happen? Like, because if he just left as a free agent, right, a team that acquires him doesn't have 17 million in cap space that's any good. So then they would get him, but then they got to trade off some guys just to get rid of money. So if anybody wants him to go, then they're probably going to try to do a sign and trade before the contract is up, right? Like in June or something. And then you'll weaken it a little bit because, and you're not just like Vegas was lucky because Pietrangelo got career-ending injury. That's the only reason they could get Mitch Marner. Everybody forgets that. That's the only reason they could get Mitch Marner. If Pietrangelo was healthy, they couldn't afford him.
Yeah. Yeah. So listen, it's a big puzzle. There's no question. And, Connor McDavid's trying to play his end of the puzzle here. Jerome McGinley tried to play his puzzle. and never solved it, right? Tried his best, went to Pittsburgh, went to Boston, went to wherever, Colorado, I think.
Yeah.
Never won his cup. Hell, Wayne Gretzky never won a cup after he left Edmonton. Let's face it. So it's a lot of guys are playing the game and not many are winning at it. I think that's fair to say.
Oh God, it's so hard, right? Like at the end, it's just so hard. And I think some people can twist themselves. Now there's going to be some players that will be like, you know what? They might just juggle it and say, I know the odds of winning are against me. So why not go play somewhere where I like? And I could see players doing that. Like I won't be stunned if Kaprizov some point later in his career ends up in New York, because a lot of the Russian players love the lifestyle of New York, right? There's a lot more of a Russian areas that you can go that feels like home.
Oh, yeah.
So I can understand why that becomes appealing to players.
Hey, listen, Minnesota's got a lot of the same vibes that Edmonton has. If you're a guy from Europe and you're looking for the big city, you're not thinking of Minneapolis or St. Paul or Edmonton or Calgary. It's just the way it is, right? I've been to Brighton Beach in New York. One time was looking for Boris Mironov of all people. I went out to Brighton Beach, and it's like, I haven't been to Moscow. That's the closest I've been to it. Like the street signs, like the signs on all the buildings are in Russian, right? Like the store, it's whatever the store is, it's Russian, some Russian store. It's a Russian restaurant. It's a Russian dry cleaner. Like it's all Russia, man. So if that's what a guy craves, he ain't finding that in St. Paul. I'm here to tell you. So to each their own. There's a reason they let a guy become a UFA at age 27 or whatever the number is now, because the guys are in their right. I'm a free agent. When my contract's up every year, they're not hunting after me the way they're hunting after Kaprizov, believe me, but it's my right to sign with Sportsnet or sign with someone else. Jason, you're an entrepreneur. You can do what you want. No one's telling you what to do. So why are we telling Connor McDavid or Kirill Kaprizov what to do?
Oh yeah, no, I don't. I let them make the decision, and I firmly believe McDavid. I bet you I still believe that Kaprizov will stay in Minnesota. And just because he doesn't get 8 years, Wild fans have said this all along. Shorter term is better for both sides. I firmly believe that. I really believe it is, because it'll encourage your team to want to stay competitive, to keep the guy happy, have him want to stay there and compete. So see how it goes. The Edmonton Elks, we had JC Sheret on the show earlier today. The defense. Yeah. And, defense has taken some pretty big strides. And, he talked about his play calling, and asked, like, how do you prove? He goes, hey, like, how much you put on yourself? He goes, hey, it's more on the players. But I did love what he said. He goes, when the players can play faster now, they got more experience, the call sheet looks better, right? So you can call the right plays, but if the guys aren't capable yet or don't have the experience, you got to simplify things. But now it's a combination of they know more, so I can call more. And it makes the call sheet look better because they have the ability to make more plays.
Yeah, I don't know enough. I wasn't able to hear that interview. I'd love to talk to JC Sheret about it. He's obviously played the game for years, and he's a really smart defensive guy. The difference in the Calgary game between quarterback pressure that ended up with sacks, whereas for many games prior to that pressure never materialized in a sack. It was just pressure, and either the guy got away, the quarterback, or he threw the ball downfield. Defensive backs again in that last Calgary game that were stapled right on Calgary Stampede receivers when they were making, like, let's say it's 2nd and 8 and they're running a 9-yard route. Yeah. I felt in the game against Calgary for the first time, the DBs were all over that short pass, and they knocked a whole bunch of them down. Is that the players just being more aggressive? Is that the defensive coordinator telling them, hey, step up and be more aggressive? If you get beat deep, I'm fine with that. Like, I don't know why it happens, but I'm just the guy in the stands, Jay. You could clearly see that defense was more aggressive. They were more, the DBs gave less yardage off the line of scrimmage. The pass rush looked like it was a little more complicated, and they had a few more plays going on and a few more blitzes. It was a better defense against Calgary than we've seen all year.
Yes. And I talked to JC about that, and he actually said, when a lot of that has just come down, your players are reacting quicker now because they know what's coming. Right. And he said, your D line and your secondary is connected very much. So sometimes when your secondary is covering better and they're up pressuring, then guess what? You allow more time sometimes for your D lineman to get to the quarterback. And then on the other side, when your D linemen are starting to go now, a lot of times your DBs don't have to cover as long because they're getting to the quarterback quicker. So it kind of, both hands shake each other and they pat each other on the back when one's doing well. Obviously, sometimes the other one has to, pick up for the other one. But I do believe that they have, because the players are recognizing plays quicker now, they're able to call more, and you can be a bit more aggressive because now they've got experience. Like, okay, I've seen this package enough that now I know what they're going to do, so I can be up a little bit more rather than be hesitant of what they're going to run.
Yeah, let's get there. Like, how long have we been waiting to have this conversation about a defense that's maturing and figuring it out and looks like it could play on its toes, right? And isn't just giving up the 10-yard play because they're defending against the 30-yard play. Like, you can't win that way. So it's a welcome stage. If they've reached a new stage, Jay, here in this defense in Edmonton, hey man, I'm all for it. We're all ready to see a more mature Elks team with the same guys week after week that aren't turning over like a turnstile. Where I think Elks fan / Edmonton football fan, they deserve this. It's time to have a defense that we're talking about the way we're talking about this one.
And Spec, the Jays right now, they're entertaining all the time. You watched that game last night. They don't have a hit. And all of a sudden, Springer hits a home run in the 6th. And then you get to the 9th inning. And what's unique about the Jays is they've actually, I think I saw a stat the other day that since like May 15th or something, they're 5th in MLB in home runs, right? Like they didn't hit a home run barely to start the season, but now they hit quite a few of them, right? And VAR shows for his games played to home runs, he's killing it, right? Even George Springer. But the Jays still have lots of ways to beat you in small ball, Spec. And usually the small ball, it comes from guys like Heineman last night, right? And, a guy they just claimed off of waivers, who I know is in his second tour now, but IVF comes in and he gets a huge single for their team. What about Vladdy Guerrero running out an infield hit to get that? But then also, what about his defensive play, Spec, in the 10th inning to read that and get Altuve at third base?
Yeah, so these are the little things in baseball. Like, this is what we love about baseball. If you're a baseball nerd, which I at one point in my life was, and I'm still a little bit, like that play from first to third. First of all, not that many first basemen have a cannon like that ball that went from first to third. It looked more like a third baseman throwing it to first. You know what I'm saying? Like, not many first basemen can put that kind of mustard on a ball across the diamond. Vladdy caught that thing, and I mean, he got it to Barger so fast Altuve was dead in arrival. So that's a little nerdy baseball play that you don't see very often, and it's a giant play in that game, man. A giant play. I'm not gonna heap praise on a guy who makes, what does Vladdy make? I don't even know, millions and millions of dollars, who runs out an infield single. You're getting paid to run out the damn infield single. So I will say this. Vladdy's level of hustle here in the last, this season, he runs that out every day. Like, he's not a big, fat, and sassy guy who just jogs to first base like so many baseball guys do. It makes me crazy. He runs that ball out. It turns out to be a really important play. And I'm going to tell you, Heineman got a little lucky. He was supposed to lay a bunt down and failed 2 times and then slap the ball to first base. Good for him. Like, they don't ask how, they ask how many. But maybe things are going your way. He was supposed to bunt and couldn't get one down. Makes a nice ball to first base. They win the ball game. That's a ball team that doesn't quit on you, man. Yeah. They're down 3-1 in the 9th, and they tied it up. I watched every second of it, and I thought, you know what? Good for you guys. There was no quit in that ball team last night.
I'll say this: they're entertaining to watch.
Yes,
they are entertaining to watch.
And don't walk away. 3-1, man. Watch the 9th inning, right?
Yeah, they will come back for sure. Spec, we will chat with you tomorrow as the rookies hit the ice, and the Elks will find out if Brinkman and others are going to play or not. So
I'll see you down at the rink tomorrow.
There you go. That's Mark Spector, the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. We'll return. We got lots of texts to get to, some really good questions. We'll get to that on some of the topics we talked about earlier today on young players in junior, as well as going to the pros at 19 and why. I'm just going to say it right now. I'm reading the tea leaves. Watch and see how many NHL teams make the mistake of rushing a 19-year-old, putting him in the American League rather than keeping him in the CHL. It's not available until next year at this point. But make no mistake, that's going to be, it's going to happen. There's probably maybe 4 guys that you would look at, geez, that's like Zane Perrick, for instance, this year. If it was eligible to him and he'd go to the American League, that would be fine. I think he'd be okay. But there's a lot of guys who are going to go down, and the team's going to tell them and convince them that it's good. And I get why players like, geez, I can't say no to an NHL team. So the NHL team is going to have to watch out for themselves at times. Take a quick break. We'll return to the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Is your company drowning in paperwork and administrative tasks? Do you need more data to make better decisions? Nectar.io is your company's all-in-one solution for fleet and materials management, safety, time cards, and GIS-based project management. Now is the time to capture and transform field, site, and shop data into boardroom-level business intelligence, all with one login. Visit Nectar.io to book a demo today. Nectar.io, your business made better.
September, back to class and back to carting the kids around. Good news. Until the end of the month at Wolf GMC Buick, get GMC employee pricing on all remaining 2025 GMC Sierra.
25.
Sierra blows the broom. Plus, get 0% financing on Sierra light-duty crew cabs. If you're eyeing up an SUV, we have the completely redesigned GMC Terrain and our entire Buick family with incredible prices. And Costco members up to $1,200 additional off the price. Come see us. Corner of 184th Street and Tony Plain Road. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Action Electrical's projects team takes the field, folks, ready to execute the entire play for new commercial builds.
Absolutely. They're masters of design build, sketching strategy from initial blueprints to core electrical infrastructure. The team never misses on complex projects.
Known for handling big league constructions and major renovations, ensuring flawless execution, hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
It's the Brick's famous tent sale. Save up to 60% off clearance items in the tent and store, with more amazing deals arriving daily in every department, like up to $1,800 off power reclining sectionals and up to $700 off big screen TVs. Buy more, save more when you buy 2 or more major appliances, up to $1,000 off. Plus, get a free Bluetooth party speaker when you spend $9.99 or more on furniture. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
The ATB Classic is returning to Northern Bear Golf Club.
An international field of professionals will battle it out on their path towards the PGA Tour.
Advance tickets are $20 or upgrade your access to sit greenside in the Sports 1440 Birdie Bar. Presented by Sleeman.
Net proceeds go to Youth on Course to give kids age 6 to 18 access to play golf for just $5.
Come see the future stars of the PGA Tour.
The ATB Classic.
September 11th to 14th.
Get your tickets at atbclassic.com.
Hey, did you hear what happened to Aiden?
Oh, yeah. It's heartbreaking.
Everyone knew this could happen. They've been posting those street races for months.
I know, right? Now his best friend is in the ICU. His family is devastated. All for some likes.
Totally wasn't worth it.
Street racing is deadly. Stop it before it stops you. A message from the government of Alberta.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantork's products not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money, support Canada at cantork.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
5:30. Welcome back. Sports 1440. Sports1440.ca. Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are having a lovely, lovely Wednesday. Busy night in the world of sports, specifically in baseball, mainly. For NHL fans, if you've got the itch or the twitch, you will get to watch rookie games starting Friday in Edmonton. They play Friday, Sunday. They will practice Thursday, Saturday, skate again on Monday. And then main camp for the Oilers will begin next Thursday. The veterans will do testing, although it'll be different than in previous years for the medical testing. Well, I guess technically, no, this year, well, I don't know. I didn't see if that was one of the things they were going to put in place earlier for the new CBA. I would think so. Like, if you know you're not going to do it next year, why would you do it now? Some of those testing. So we'll see. I'll get the answer exactly on Thursday. Actually, before then, I'll ask to see what they're doing. I know there's some testing. You can do eye tests and different things like that. Obviously, they'll do heart testing and different things like that for sure. So we'll see where it goes. Jays trail 1-0 in the midway through the second inning as the Astros just scored a run. We've got a lot of text flying in, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, guys, I wish long-term injured young guys like Yarvi Venta and Regula played in the rookie camp. Are they both still considered rookies, technically, from Nick? Well, Nick, usually how it works is once a guy has played a few years of pro, that they don't go to the rookie camp. That's just normally how it is. Now, I know Szymanski has, but that was probably his choice. He's coming over. He wants to get acclimatized to it. But, Yarventi's been to training camp now for, 5-6 years? He's not going to do it, right? Regula's not going to do it. So those guys don't need to play. There's not much benefit for them to go up against kids who are just drafted, for instance, 18, 19, 20-year-olds, which is what a lot of the team is. Right now, Edmonton's a little bit different because they haven't had a lot of picks. Right now, they still have 2 first-rounders that are in both Savoy and Howard, but they acquired both those guys via trade. But they're still first-rounders, right? Matt Savoy has had, he's been to a few training camps, right? I think Savoy probably, you're not going to say no, I don't think, right? But he's probably like, man, I want to get on the ice. I want to get some touches because I want to come into camp flying. So that's why he's there. Yarventi is 24, I think now, maybe. So I can see why he's not there. Regula's 25. Yeah, those guys weren't gonna come at this stage. There's not a big benefit. And there is at times where some guy says, hey man, like, it's, how would I say it best? When you have your family Christmas or Thanksgiving dinner and you sit at the kid table and then you get to graduate to the adult table, and there's nothing wrong with being at the kid table, but sometimes you're like, hey, I think I've graduated now to the adult table, right? Where, because there's that year, sometimes you're 13 maybe in the household and there's not room, or they're like, you know what? You can kind of oversee it and you just, man, I don't really want to be here. I don't think I fit into that category anymore. And I think you have some guys who have played multiple years of minor pro hockey that they feel like, you know what? I think that we're kind of past that for me in my development. And I think that's fair. So like preseason's definitely a little bit different on that one. Hey, guys, I don't want McDavid at 17.5 for more 8 years. I'd rather have him for 4 years. His aging curve will be worse than Draisaitl because his speed will fall off in 4 years, plus injuries. JP on the island. You actually think McDavid's speed is going to fall off in 4 years? Really? Like, what are we talking about here? Like, he's going to go from the 99th percentile to the 98th percentile? Like, how much do you think it's going to fall off? I'm honestly asking that. I wouldn't. I think McDavid, McDavid has another decade of good hockey in him. Look at Sidney Crosby. Look at Nick Lidstrom. Go down the list of guys. Joe Thornton, Jarman Jagger, the elite players. I think Conor McDavid will be more than fine over the next decade. Injuries, he's had a few nagging ones here, but nothing massive. So I don't see it. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Guys, honestly think I could see McDavid doing 2-year deals over and over from Jordan. Well, things can change, and I know people will get fired up about it. I don't know if he would do 2. Honestly, I don't know. Anybody's guessing, I think. I've always said that. I think there's educated guesses, and there's some people that are going to make up flat out lies, and sadly, we've seen a little bit of that on social media. But I can't, and I've talked to Connor. I can't say with certainty what he's going to. Sure as hell not going to tell me. I'm not going to pretend that he will, and he hasn't told anybody. Right? His inner circle is pretty small, and if he knew what he wanted to sign for now, I think he would already sign. So they're going to take their time, and he's going to look at a lot of things. I also, McDavid, and I've said this many times, like he's wound really tight. I think his whole circle is wound pretty tight, and there's like an intense focus. There's no more pressure on McDavid that comes from him internally, from himself. No. And that can be good, but there's a line where it can become too much, right? Like did Florida look like a team that had fun last year? Right? Like they're going on team outings to get ice cream. I know it might seem like a small thing, but guys have fun with it. They're joking around. Like Edmonton's a little bit more of a serious team. Now, I'm not saying that's the reason 100% wholeheartedly that they lost, but the game always has to be fun. It just has to be. And if you're not having fun, I just think it's harder to win. So 2 years, 4 years, whatever he signs for, I guess it's possible he signs a 1-year deal. I just don't think a long-term deal makes sense because none of us know what's going to happen in the next 3 years or 4 years. People talk about, do you have a 5-year plan? Some people have lived by a 5-year plan, right? So maybe if you're in a business that's pretty stable, you can do it. But I'd be curious about business owners who are listening right now. How many of you have like a real in-depth 5-year plan? And how often does it change? Do you have a basis of it? And then it gravitates and moves around. I'd be kind of curious as to how many people have a 5-year plan. Connor, have you ever had a 5-year plan?
No, I haven't.
You ever had a 1-year plan?
Just taking it day by day, quarter mile at a time.
Because I think like in pro sports, it would be difficult because there's so many things that are unpredictable, right? Like you don't know which player could come available in a trade from an opposing team. Right? Like look at Matthias Ekholm, for instance. How many people thought he was going to be available? He became available. Changes quite a bit about your team.
Every sport.
Oh, 100%.
Micah Parsons, Luka Doncic, sort of pick on Dallas fans, but you never know, right?
Tough time for Dallas fans. Holy jeez. Yep. It is. It's very unpredictable. So I could see how, going shorter term doesn't mean you're not committed to the organization. It doesn't mean you don't believe they can win. It's because you're saying, I don't really know. So, and I don't know where I'm going to be at. And maybe he'll want a different challenge. But you never know. Like I don't know McDavid well enough to say, well, this is how he thinks. And I do believe we're seeing a little bit of a change in the NHL landscape that you're going to see shorter term deals, 4 or 5-year deals, cons, more than 6 and 7s from the top end guys. I really believe you're going to see that in the coming years in the NHL. So that'll be different. And that's why, like, man, in 3 years, that Draisaitl contract is going to look so much better. It doesn't look bad now, but it'll look great in a few years for sure. Well, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll get some insight into to some of the players. If you're going to be watching that rookie game, we got a lot of questions about some of the rookies. We'll get to that more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Some people wake up and get dressed for work in a suit and tie or a nice dress. At GS Construction, we're less fashion forward and more putting our best foot forward. We wear hard hats and steel-toe boots, and most importantly, we wear 50 years of experience with pride. It's not glamorous, it's definitely not easy, but it matters. We do it well. So if you'd like to be part of something where your work matters, GS Construction is hiring. Just remember, when you come for an interview, ditch the tie. See more at gsconstruction.ca.
That's the sound of Harley you've been dreaming about. And this is the sound of opportunity knocking. And it's coming from Harley-Davidson of Edmonton.
Our end of season sale is on, and we're clearing the floor with unbelievable prices on a huge selection of pre-owned bikes. This is your moment to own the legend.
Find your dream machine at Harley-Davidson of Edmonton on the Yellowhead Trail. Locally owned and operated by the Kent family and celebrating 45 years.
At Fountain Tire, we're fluent in saving you money. Fluent? Yes, we've mastered the language of deals. Like right now, you can save up to 25% off select tires and up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires. Plus, $50 off $150 service when you buy those tires. All until October 18th.
I'm sorry, I don't speak deals.
Spend less, save more when you buy Round Black things from us.
Oh, got it.
Restrictions apply. Book your appointment online today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
$1 plus tax for a smooth, small premium roast coffee at McDonald's? That means rich, full-bodied flavor at a price that's just as satisfying. Must be McCafe. Enjoy a small McCafe premium roast coffee for just $1 plus tax at participating McDonald's in Canada. Prices exclude delivery.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
Stollery Children's Hospital Foundation Mighty Millions Lottery bonus prize deadline is midnight Friday. Go top shelf to score the Oilers in $75,000 bonus prize. Lower bowl Oilers season seats plus $75,000 cash. You're also in to win the Porsche Paris early bird and the $2.5 million grand prize. A luxury show home in Cameron Heights. Hurry, bonus prize deadline is midnight Friday. Be mighty. Buy your tickets now at MightyMillionsLottery.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Elks Nation, 2 weekly podcasts with Eddie Steele and Declan Kruger breaking down the green and gold, the most in-depth Double E football coverage on YouTube and anywhere you get your podcasts.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We are back to wrap things up on a busy Wednesday afternoon. Tomorrow, Chris Morris, president of the Green and Gold, will join us on the show. Also, TR will be back. We'll talk to Ike Howard and more tomorrow on a busy Thursday edition of the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. A lot of more texts coming in. Hey, Gregs, I missed it earlier. Can you recap the numbers on McDavid and his reduction in goals? There was something else, but I missed it. Thanks from Tim. Yeah, it was his shots on goal we were talking about. So in 2023, McDavid had 4.29 shots on goal and 6.45 shot attempts per game, and he had 64 goals. He had 64 goals that season on 352 shots. Last year, now granted, he did play 15 fewer games, but he only averaged 2.92 shots per game. So he went from 4.29 to 2.92. Obviously, his goal totals went down to 26. He had 5.52 shot attempts. His block shots, or shots blocked, and shots that missed the net were virtually the same each of the last 3 seasons. Give or take, like 10. Not a big difference. But his shots on goal have dropped dramatically since scoring 64 goals, down to 32, down to 26. And with him saying himself, and I'll get you the quote on it, Part of my talent is the ability to change my mind, but at times it can take away from shooting the puck, taking it to the net, taking it to the hole, whatever it is. I look back on scoring 60 goals, and there was a lot more shooting. I was a little bit more assertive, aggressive around the net, and that is something I can get back to. Usually when McDavid says he's going to do something, he's going to do it. So I would look to see him shoot the puck more. At times when you'll see him, and we saw it last time, he'd be in a pretty good shooting spot, but he would pass it up. Or he'd hesitate to go to the net. And I think you'll see more of that. And then the other thing that I think is not a coincidence is a good start for McDavid helps the team, but personally helps himself. And if you look at McDavid, his start, the last 2 seasons kind of coincided with the Oilers, pretty slow. The Oilers were 4-5-1 out of the gate last year. McDavid had 10 points in the first 10 games. In 24, the Oilers were 2-8 in the first 10. McDavid was 2-8, 2 goals, 8 assists, 10 points. For McDavid, 1 point a game, meh. Him being an 82-point player, you'd be like, what? Not good. In 2023, though, McDavid had 11 goals and 11 assists, 22 points in the first 10 games. Like even in 2024, when McDavid started slow with 10 points in the first 10 games, he finished with 122 points in the next 66. Like he got rolling. So, McDavid's shown he can really carry a hot streak for a long, long time. And I think he's going to be more assertive early on. And I think that's going to help him. And I think it's probably going to help the Edmonton Oilers have a better start. 7 of their first 10 games are against teams who didn't make the playoffs, but also 7 of their first 10 games this season are on the road, as they do have quite a bit of road games early on. Hey, guys, could some of the sacks be attributed to good coverage or just strictly good pressure from the line? Kevin, well, I think it's a combination of both at times, Kevin. But I definitely think when your secondary has better coverage, it gives the D lineman more time. But what I noticed in that game against Calgary, Cons, when they had the chance to make a sack, they were finishing it. We've seen them be around the football and be around the quarterback and let him get away. They didn't let Vernon Adams get away.
Yeah, I mean, you go back to Nathan Rourke a couple of times. I think it was Kolaros got him once for a touchdown. When you get home and you don't finish off the play, I mean, it just opens things up, right? Because I think, unfortunately, at times when the quarterback's in the grasp, a lot of players let up. He breaks free. There's opportunities to throw the ball downfield. It's more time that they have to cover on the back end. So it's absolutely crucial when you get close. You got to bring the quarterback down. And they've done that. And yeah, absolutely. It's a direct result of your past defense. Rush and cover go hand in hand.
Hey, Greggs, well, I understand McDavid could sign a shorter deal. I can't fathom how he can give up guaranteed salary for 8 years. Nothing is guaranteed in life, and injury risk will never not be a thing. From YYC Ryan. Well, that is true, but was it Jennifer Lopez who Amanda Bean Lopez who insured her legs, right, in case of an accident, because that was kind of her thing. Connor McDavid, you can insure your career. Right? You can pay for the insurance that covers in case of injury. Because keep in mind, how many players have their career short? Some, but it is rare. And, right, so Connor McDavid, you're saying that he would get, if he signs a 4-year deal, you risk the next 4 years because he could get injured in the final year of his deal. Sure. But guys sign it all the time. Injuries can happen. I'm a big believer when you start thinking about an injury and that being your motivator of a contract, I think you're increasing your chances of an injury. Thankfully, there's not many players who suffer career-ending injuries. Of course, there's some. Chris Pronger's career got cut short. Not obviously he was late in his career, but still cut short. He had a few years left with the eye injury, just couldn't play again. Right? Carey Price. Now, Carey Price, would he have signed another contract after this one? 100%. Right? But he made a lot of money. Connor McDavid's already made $100 million. If he signs a 4-year deal, $60 million a year, right? Now he's at $160 million. He's got more money than he ever needs. So I guess you could worry about it, but I don't think they should or he will. Greg's, it was Tina Turner. Thank you, Mike. I knew it was someone. Thank you, Mike. Tina Turner had insurance on her legs. The private dancer, by the way. So, she could sing too. But she had a nice set of jambs. There's no doubt about that. But that's why I think McDavid doesn't. you look in the like the NBA has a max of 5 years, and if you have a max of only 7-year contracts, so if you sign 4 instead of a max of 7, I don't know. I don't see it being a huge deterrent for some guys. Some guys might, because everybody's different. Some people are a little bit more worrisome than others, right? That's just how it goes. So this just coming in from Jeff Merrick. It will be up to individual CHL teams to determine what access looks like for NCAA personnel. Some teams who have relationships with scouts, coaches, where passes and or free tickets will be issued and others will not. So it's going to be on a team-by-team basis as it comes out. And that's, hey, I get it. Some teams are going to be like, scout comes in. Sure. You want to get a scouting pass for the night? We'll give you one. But basically they're saying it's not going to be 100% a given anymore. And I do kind of understand that. Like, you're now much more of a competitor to the CHL, right? I think it's going to become a rampant problem? I do not. I think you're still going to see a lot of scouts there. So, hey, guy, McDavid wants to be known as the best player ever, not the best player never to win a cup. Maybe, but it's all subjective, right? If Connor McDavid didn't win the cup, people have already said no one's ever played the game as fast as him. But here's the thing. He wants to be known as the best player ever, not the one to win a cup. But there's no guarantee if he signs on a new team that he wins a cup there. There's no guarantee if he signs in Edmonton that he wins a cup. That's the thing. You cannot guarantee a cup. If you could, lots of other guys would find that and they'd do it. So there's not much. So I don't, you're never, known as the greats. The best of the best is always going to be subjective, especially when McDavid gets older, someone will come in new, and then younger generation of people are saying, no, this new guy's the best, right? Because some people always want the new one to be the best, and I get it. It's fun, sports, it's great, but there you go. Hey, Gregor, why can't a scout pay his way into an arena? Well, he could if they wanted to. They just haven't done so in the past, and now they're saying it's not mandatory. Do I think you'll see a lot of teams, enforce that? Yeah, some might. And it's probably going to go on a team-by-team basis, and it'll really come down to the owner and what he's thinking. And it might come down to the school, too, right? If you had a school who just plucked one of your guys way early, you might say, we don't need you. It's kind of like, look at New England, right? And they don't allow, what did Bill say? I'm not welcome in their organization facilities, so their guys aren't welcome at ours at UNC. And I know some people said, oh, this is hurting the players. I'm like, dude, there's 31 other NFL teams. And guess what? You can find tape on every player if you want. I don't think it's going to be that drastic of a setback for them. So we shall see. Hey, Greg's, ask Connor, does he think his Chargers are for real this year? I came in the email, sport at Gregor at sports1440.ca. Got to get that in before the show, Cons.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think that they've shown that the coaching has improved. I think Harbaugh has that impact that gets teams to believe. We got to see the running game improve. But Herbert, kind of stepped up in the moments he needed to last game, which was an encouraging sign. I mean, he's got all the ability to do so, but you have to see him do it when it matters. When games are on the line against big teams. And beating the Chiefs, I think, was a huge mental hurdle for this team. I mean, they struggled to do so. They always found ways to lose those games and giving the Chiefs the opportunity at the end. This year, instead of that happening on a big third down play, Justin Herbert made the play and converted the first down. So I think they're for real. I think they can potentially win a playoff game this year, but I don't know if I have them. Like, if they can do a shootout with Baltimore or Buffalo, I don't know if they're quite that level yet, but hopefully soon.
All right. On behalf of Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, I'm Jason Gregor. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. And remember, go to YouTube, Sports 1440. Hit the subscribe button. We very much appreciate it. Just opens up new opportunities for us and things we can give you, giveaways and more. So check it out. That's going to start in October. So over the next few weeks, we've got time. Every day, just not every day. Once you subscribe, you're in. Thank you very much. Let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Harley-Davidson of Edmonton on the West End. 45 years in business. The Kemp family keeps it running. Check it out. All their great bikes at hdedmonton.com. Good night.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
In case you missed it, the Edmonton Elks placing fullback Tanner Green on the 6-game IL with a knee injury. Some other notes from practice: Nick Anderson was limited with the abdominal injury, and Jared Brinkman did not practice with his shoulder and foot. In the NHL, San Jose signing 2025 second overall pick Michael Misa to his 3-year entry-level contract. The 18-year-old had 62 goals and 134 points in 65 games last season in the OHL with Saginaw. Major League Baseball, right now, the Blue Jays are in action, hosting Houston once again, heading into the fourth. Astros up 1-0. Elsewhere, the Rays have a 1-0 lead over the White Sox. Mets trail the Phillies 2-1. Guardians up on the Royals 3-2. And the Pirates have a 1-0 lead over the Orioles. Earlier today, Rangers doubled up the Brewers 6-3. As the Athletics over the Red Sox 5-4. Diamondbacks hit by the Giants 5-3, and the Twins fall to the Angels 4-3. Three-time All-Star first baseman Anthony Rizzo announced his retirement from the majors today. He spent 14 seasons in the big leagues with the Padres, Cubs, and Yankees. Four-time Gold Glover. He last played with New York in 2024. And in the WNBA tonight, one game going on at halftime. The Dream leads the Sun 51-28. That'll do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Coming up next, it's Fox Sports Radio all night long. Live local coverage resumes tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. here on Sports 1440, streaming on our YouTube channel at Sports 1440 AM. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.